Fox's Alex Hogan in Vatican City.
The celebration continues after it is a new day, a new start, new chapter for the Catholic Church with the first ever American Pope, his new name, Leo the 14th, who just celebrated his first Mass. This was a Thanksgiving celebratory Mass that was held in the Sistine Chapel. It gathered Cardinals after the success of the concluded conclave. Pope Leo acknowledged the great responsibility of the role as crowds outside continue to celebrate.
Pope Leo XIV will be formally installed as Pope in a Mass May 18th, his first general audience May 21st, that from the Vatican. Could the president slice the current tariff on goods from China coming to U.S. markets? Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
In a post on Truth Social, President Trump says 80% tariffs on China seems right. The president says it's up to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who's taking part in meetings this weekend with Chinese officials in Switzerland. The ongoing trade war currently has U.S. tariffs at 145% on China, with China's tariffs on the U.S. at 125%. Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer are hoping to negotiate a deal with China the Trump administration feels is more fair to the U.S. economy. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Switzerland and the U.S. agree to pick up the pace in their trade talks. That from the Swiss president today. America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
No complaints with our weather for a change. Sunshine, a little cool, yes, but the high around 70, delightful. Tonight, clear skies and chilly. A quick drop through the 60s this evening. 48 for the overnight low. Saturday, sunny, 73. Sunday for Mother's Day, sunshine, wonderful. 78 for the high on Sunday. That's pretty close to where we should be. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, May 20th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Here are Bob and Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and worried about the market volatility and losses at this stage in your life? Would you like to learn why linking to the market is much safer than owning the market?
Would you like to learn how to automatically lock in your market gains every year without having to sell? Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any future losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, at the Frontenac Hilton on Tuesday, May 20th at 6:30 p.m. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
The Biz Dash returns as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at Energizer Park, home of St. Louis City SC, for the 10th year of the Biz Dash, the ultimate office party and kickoff to summer. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Is thinning hair or receding hairline making you self-conscious? Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. Right? You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Happy Friday. Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us. I bet you that you're out right now, getting in your car, headed towards a nice Arby's drive-thru. Arby's, of course, stands for roast beef. I have heard more about the fact that we enlighten people. Listen, we've talked about a lot of things this week. There's a new pope. That might be, well, I was going to say that might be the only time we talk about the Pope today, but Joe DeVito is going to come in here.
Oh, yeah, get ready.
And apparently the X feed for Joe DeVito has got some Pope material.
So I'm just telling you right now, get ready.
My favorite Popeism so far has been, if he's a Midwestern Pope, wouldn't that make him the Ope? And I'll allow that one.
I really liked, this is the first Pope to save big money at Menards.
Is Menards everywhere?
I don't know. I know it's around here.
We'll have to ask Joe DeVito in the next segment. He's going to be here for the rest of the hour. We'll have to ask him if he can you sing the Menards jingle? And
that's a really good question.
Yeah,
because it would tell you a lot about whether you're Midwestern.
Do you know what you can save at Menards?
Yeah,
don't say it now. He's
do you
listening.
know the percentage?
Yeah. So, anywho, what are we doing? We're landing a plane over here.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's like Newark, New Jersey. Unclear signals. That airport.
You know, once we start talking about you, you can just talk. You don't have to do the hand movements anymore.
You say, hey.
Just say.
Do the blackouts that are taking place at Newark, New Jersey freak you out? I'm not going through Newark. But the fact that this can happen and is happening with more regularity than we were even made aware of to begin with, like when the first one happened, that wasn't the first time to happen. So I can hit you up here with a Fox News article talking about the latest. The Federal Aviation Administration confirmed Friday that there was another air traffic control outage this morning affecting Newark Liberty International Airport. The development comes after the FAA issued a ground stop at the airport due to construction that was in effect until 11:15 a.m. Eastern. The Federal Aviation Administration said, quote, there was a telecommunications outage that impacted communications and radar display at Philadelphia Tracon Area C, which guides aircrafts in and out of Newark Liberty International Airport airspace. We're getting into the travel season here. School's wrapping up. Travel is going to start happening. These are not issues that have developed in the last 110 days. And I would probably, you know what? I bet you it's as likely that this is on Trump's first term as it is on Joe Biden or potentially Obama. How long has our air traffic control system been deteriorating? And we're paying for P research in Guatemala.
Yeah. PEA.
I mean, it could just be abbreviated, still counts.
Just with a P?
Yeah. If you're in a hurry.
P research could be anything.
I know. That's why they do it that way. I thought this was for papayas.
This one actually has a line item.
Yeah.
Most of them don't.
Do you feel like I feel like can we run the air traffic control system by Elon Musk while he's still at the White House? Can we just let him dabble? No?
Oh, well, yeah, I thought that was a rhetorical question.
You're supposed to talk.
Hey, you be quiet for a second. Ethan and Brad, frame for the people who couldn't see what just happened there and compare it to every other day that we do radio in this studio.
So what usually happens is Ryan will step all over what Annie's trying to say.
Thank you. That wasn't even a point I was trying to make.
But what actually happened here is Annie asked a question, even did the hand gesture, palm up, hand
how
out.
would you say my body was like?
It was oriented toward Ryan.
Yes.
Like shoulders full facing Ryan.
Speaking of today's
hand
poll.
out, which is for a little inside baseball for you on radio, a hand out, palm up, kind of gesturing towards you or
handing
a point.
it to him.
is basically saying, I'm throwing to you, you go.
And then what did he do, Ethan?
Oh,
How did he receive that gesture?
Oh, nobody was home. The lights were out. I'm not going to lie. I thought perhaps Nate Foy was on the TV the way he was staring in that direction. He was not. And
Jillian Turner, by the way.
The lights were clearly out. They're flickering now-ish.
Well,
what were you thinking?
I thought you were making a point. I was going to let you finish.
I don't even remember what the actual question was, but I'm like standing there talking to you, and you just are looking at me.
It was about Doge
with your jaw open.
Yeah, I wasn't slobbering on myself.
Basically,
almost
all over your Spartan shirt.
I was not. I was sitting here thinking about whether Elon should continue to update everything. The problem is with an airport. Now I'll talk. With an airport.
Well, thank you.
You know, they have amazing backup systems for hospitals. I know people who actually work in hospitals who do that. That's their job, is to make sure that if there's a power outage, the power doesn't actually go out at the hospital. It seems to me as if an airport should be on that level, that if there's a power outage, everything kicks right back on because you're an airport. There are many lives at stake with planes taking off and landing.
If the power's down, yeah,
death.
just like the
yes. So you want to have a good
Ryan.
backup system.
It's good to have you back.
Can I ask you a question?
Let me know when it's my turn to talk. You should turn around and face the wall, and then I'll know.
Secretary Duffy's doing a great job, right? Am I right?
He's not doing a bad job.
Dang it. I was trying to ask her a question that was so rhetorical that you wouldn't step into it.
Oh, sorry. See, I'm good at my job.
Just a constant reminder. I can't think of what it is.
You actually doubled down on how badly I did. Off my own question.
Joe DeVito is going to be here. Are you nervous? Is the idea that Joe DeVito, the guy who's on Gutfeld, helps write for Gutfeld, tours the country, makes people laugh all across these great lands, is going to be standing right next to you?
I don't know about nervous. Impressed. That dude's quick. I walked by him in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I thanked him for he signed. I might bring this up again, but you guys got him to sign my book for the Gutfeld show. And he was he didn't know I was walking up to him, and he was like boom with jokes about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you weren't even prepared for that?
You're excited because he knows your book.
Well, that's part of it.
And you are now getting to talk about the grocery list.
I mean, right now, I guess technically in the midst of the grocery list by Ryan Wiggins, we are talking about it.
Gosh, you know how when politically people are assessing Donald Trump, and some of them think he's playing like 7D chess, and other people think he's the dumbest person ever walked the planet.
Is that a rhetorical question or not?
Rhetorical this time.
Then proceed.
No, okay, here's a real question. Do you know how that is? Do you know that's real about Donald Trump?
Yeah.
There's just really differing opinions on the intellect and what the individual brings to the table.
To me, they should have a backup system at every airport in the country.
I hate you.
Because the hospitals, this is
I need
life and death
you to
stuff.
have a backup system.
That was my backup.
Okay.
I just went to it again.
I see. We'll have next question at 1:25. Any questions that you would like to ask the show, we would love to have them. You can send them to the Annie Fry YouTube live chat right there at the Annie Fry YouTube channel. And we have X's and O's today, and we're going to have the folks from Artistic Decks in to play X's and O's. You put X's and O's together. It's been a while. A trivia game that is supposed to reflect on things that we have covered on the show throughout the course of the week. What grade would you give yourself on today's X's and O's presentation?
A on presentation.
So good politics.
D or F on difficulty, because I don't know really what that means, but it's hard. This is a hard week. So the questions, get ready.
Will we be upset with you by the end?
Maybe. It depends on if you happen to know the things that I made questions about.
I guess it would, wouldn't it?
Happen to know things about the questions.
There's a couple that really take a long way to get there.
We talked a lot earlier this week about Ed Martin being the DC attorney that was nominated by Donald Trump. And that has since changed. Now, we were very interested in the Republicans in the Senate getting behind President Trump's nomination and getting the job done. The clock was ticking. May 20th was the date that it needed to be completed by. Otherwise, Judge Boasberg got to rename the person for that position if the Senate didn't confirm someone. So we said yesterday, if they were to pull that nomination and put somebody else in there, I was thinking that the clock was still at May 20th, but that's not actually true. There is I think a 4-month cycle for every person who gets put into the position to do that. And now they have a new name.
Trump just announced Judge Jeanine Pirro, my friend and co-host from The Five, is going to become the new interim U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. Here's the official statement from Fox News. Quote, Jeanine Pirro has been a wonderful addition to The Five over the last 3 years and a longtime beloved host across Fox News Media who contributed greatly to our success throughout her 14-year tenure. We wish her all the best in her new role in Washington. So good luck to Judge Jeanine and good luck to everybody who faces Judge Jeanine.
I think this could be quite entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Oh, entertaining for sure. He's got people at every position in the cabinet and even outside of it who are incredible communicators. Never seen anything like this before.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, you want the person at the top to understand the concept, the way to manage whatever the category of cabinet they're in, but you can also surround yourself with the very best of the best. You have to have the wisdom to listen to other people and to assemble the information you're getting and then to act upon it. But if you can't communicate a message in this republic that we live in, nothing has a shelf life.
And I said this while you were gone at the White House. By the way, the White House is on TV right now. That room you were in, are you like, oh, been there?
It sounds like you are a little miffed.
No, I'm happy for you.
It sounds like it.
While you were gone, though,
yeah.
One of the points.
Tell me about your great point that you made.
Great point. I need to make it again so that you hear it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really happen unless I hear it.
All these media personalities that he's picking. Yes, it's true that they're all good communicators, but they're also, I think, more importantly, on record for a long time as to what they believe publicly. So he knows exactly where they're coming from because he's been betrayed by so many people in his first term so many times.
Is it a gimmick to put Judge Jeanine in this position?
I don't know. That's what I wonder the same thing.
Her bona fides make her good at what she does. These are not people, Pete Hegseth didn't go to school to be a TV talker and then be like, I think I'll run I'll run the Department of Defense. That's not how that works. Their expertise and their experience put them in a position to communicate. They happen to have the skill of communication, which not everybody has. Some people have the skill of calculation. Some people have the skill of, messaging and communication or of interpersonal skills, so on and so forth. But these are people who obviously very successfully have the skill to communicate, but it's been brought to our attention because of what they did before they got behind or in front of a camera or a microphone. So to be an effective communicator, I really am open to the idea of watching Judge Jeanine go do work. Like, how much could Judge Jeanine get done in 4 months compared to, especially if you knew you only had 4 months?
Yeah. But the question is, will she get confirmed? Because if she gets confirmed, it's beyond 4 months.
Well, if it's temporary, it's a temporary.
I think that she could still be confirmed, though. That's the chatter I've seen is that this could be temporary leading into a longer term thing.
Probably the same way that Ed Martin was put in there in the temporary position with the expectation to be confirmed. I don't know that she would want it.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, like in my mind, she would be happy to, but maybe more. But it's a grueling expectation. More from Donald Trump's cabinet. Here's Ryan's favorite, Commerce Secretary Lutnick, on the deals that are coming our way.
What the president's been saying is what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to have templates. So we'll do a small country or two, and then we'll have a template, and we'll say, you know what? These 20 or 30 countries are economically similar. Let's go over their products. Let's go get it right. And let's go give them the model of how they want to do it. And if they want to modify it a little bit, that's fine. But you're going to see over the next month or so, we're going to roll out dozens of deals.
Okay.
Because we'll find categories of countries that it'll work out just fine.
So he's very confident still. His message to the American people is still that he has confidence in the direction this is heading. Of course, as was quoted, Fox News even in the Chiron had it in quotation marks, major. That was the word that it was just when it was said White House rolls out major trade deal. The only word in quotations was major.
They're just quoting the president there.
Which is really
major.
Where I asked Taylor Riggs from Fox Business yesterday, major? And she was like,
I thought that was really, that puts things in perspective.
yeah. But then you can't be like, holy cow, we made a deal with the United Kingdom. Who saw this coming? And then have an India or, eventually, hopefully, possibly the China, that the biggest fish of them all, come in and be like, is it like major?
Yeah, I don't know at that point.
What gets bigger than that?
Super mega major.
Sure. I like that. We should submit suggestions.
Okay.
Joe DeVito is going to be in studio with us when we come back. You can join us and watch him as he's going to be in studio with us. Of course, he's a regular panelist on Fox News Gutfeld, but he is at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles tonight, 7:30 and 9:30, and tomorrow, Saturday at 6 and 8:30. You need to do yourself a favor and show up to this event. You will laugh. Have you laughed really hard lately? Have you laughed so much that it hurts lately? Have you gone out and enjoyed a nice dinner and a really fun evening with people, surrounded by people who are like you, who just enjoy humor? You remember when Donald Trump said about the Catholic Pope thing? He's like, what, don't they have a sense of humor? We know you have a sense of humor, and that's why you want to get your tickets to see Joe DeVito tonight at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles, or tomorrow night. We'll talk to him when we come back, but you can peruse stlewisfunnybone.com and get your tickets while we wait. Don't go away.
A million times I wanna hear him say, yeah, 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 like it's not a way.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Air Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com. Waiting for your phone call at 314-513-0091 to help you with your air conditioner. You need to stay in your comfort zone all year long. And of course, here in St. Louis, the greater St. Louis area, we have all 4 seasons, full bore, and sometimes even in the same day. It's beautiful outside right now. The weather will heat up, and you need to make sure your air conditioner is going to keep you comfortable. If you have a loved one who lives in a home that may not be checking on this on their own, you want to make sure that you have their system checked as well. You can sign up for a maintenance plan with Air Comfort Service. Well, they will take the thinking out of this and save you a lot of money in repairs that you don't have to pay for, costly repairs, because you kept up with your maintenance. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. Reach out to them. Tell them Annie sent you and get your AC system checked today online at aircomfortservice.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Tomorrow, some of us will wake up and it will be our last day on this earth. It will be unexpected and without warning. Each year, 250,000 people will die from medical malpractice, the third leading cause of death in America. 43,000 will die in a car or truck crash. 6,000 will die working on the job. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, and we represent many of these families. It's awful. Unfortunately, many times some of these family members are not speaking and never get to say, I'm sorry or goodbye. If you're at odds with a loved one, listen closely. Pick up the phone. Call them. Say you're sorry. I promise a huge burden will be lifted from your heart and your soul will be renewed. Even if you're not wrong in your own mind, it doesn't matter. Death is bad enough. Death without closure and love will follow you the rest of your days. Trust me on this. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down on the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600 or on the website bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Who has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis? Is J.D. Powers Award winner 5 years in a row and has the nation's best warranty coverage. Renewal by Andersen, that's who. Take advantage of our great May sale. $279 off every window and $729 off every entry door or patio door with 0 payments and 0 interest for 18 months. Check it out at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1924. Renewal by Andersen, a better way to a better window.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Time to schedule your air conditioner service. Get your entire HVAC system checked for $19 a month with the preferred partner plan and be ready for the first heat wave. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Ooh, you make me live.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. It's always a wonderful day when we get to hang out with the funny people from the Funny Bone. But of course, you know Joe DeVito from Gutfeld on Fox News. This show just continues to kill it every night. Joe, welcome back to the studio. It's good to have you here.
Thank you. It is a wonderful day when I'm here, isn't it?
It is. It's a sunny and bright.
Beautiful.
Something happened. What happened? I can't remember what it was.
Rain yesterday.
No.
But then Joe's here now.
Oh, you brought the sunshine. I see. And I feel like you were in here one other time and there was a big news story. We got a new pope.
Oh, I know what the big news story. I think last time I was here was the night after the debate, the Biden debate.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. And
maybe an indictment or something like that. I don't know.
Well, it's so funny to hear him a year later, and they just went and dragged his carcass out on The View. That
what's he doing? What's the real reason behind Joe DeVito?
Joe DeVito.
What's the real?
Why is Joe DeVito doing media?
Behind Joe Biden going on The View? Like, what are we trying to prove here?
Here's what I heard. Is that he signed with an agent and they tried to get him to do speaking tours. But unfortunately, you have to be able to speak. So there's no such thing as the mumbling circuit. And that's where a lot of the former politicos, it's their money laundering operation. You know, where Hillary Clinton goes to give a speech somewhere.
Does he need money?
Yeah, I've heard the money's dried up. The pipeline from their usual, they don't have any influence anymore. And, you know, that's why he needs the money. So he's on. And amazing job on The View, where even they couldn't drag his ass over the finish line. So, yeah, I don't know. The Democrats must be saying, like, can we just no public appearances from Joe?
Yeah, less is more.
Yeah, I don't know what sort of they must have read from the Tibetan Book of the Dead to get him to revive enough.
Don't read the last word. Don't say it. So they go onto The View, into the hen house that is The View, to, I guess, prove that he's still competent. Why is Jill there?
Well, she is a doctor.
Oh, just in case?
Yeah, she's with the paddles in case he codes. Just say, clear, and then see if they can revive him. Yeah, it's...
Do you have any pity for him?
Well, no. No, and I'll tell you why. Because if for anyone else, I would feel bad that a person with dementia was clearly being exploited by his horrible family and the people in the Democratic Party. But you have to keep in mind that he was a bozo when his mind was working at 100%.
Yeah.
So 100% Joe Biden was calling people fat and challenging them to push-up contests and so forth. When, you know, now, of course, he's pushing up daisies is about all he's doing push-ups for. So no sympathy, no pity for that family.
Yeah. And I really, the worst part about it is that Jill is always there for me. The crutch. I saw, you know, we continue to see on social media these videos that pop up that are like, oh, remember when this happened? Remember when that happened? There's a video floating around right now where Joe is just kind of wandering around at the White House at some event, and he walks up to some blonde and is talking to her. Do you know what video I'm talking about?
Yes, because she, I believe, was wearing the same color outfit as Jill.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jill comes up, grabs, like, squares up to him, grabs both of his arms and is shaking. You can see the back of her head is shaking her head no, and redirects him to the left. And then that woman goes to the right. And the suggestion was that he thought that was Jill. I mean, it's actually more in the realm of possibility than another explanation might
and it
be.
Shouldn't be.
Right.
It shouldn't be. Yeah. Because if you, I think he did think that was his wife. Because if you zoom in and read the lips, he did ask her to change his bag.
I didn't zoom in on it, but if I come across it again, I will. Do you feel like we need to investigate, we need to get to the bottom of it, that we really need honest answers as how bad it was, or do we need to move on?
I like the books coming out, and even at the
Tapper book or something.
The Tapper book, they're so
Keep hearing
brave
about it.
now. Like, hey, it's a tough sell for those books. Like, can you guys believe this thing we just found out about? Yeah, well, I've had a TV.
John Travolta in the room going,
yeah. What do you think? It's I don't even know what to say. And but it's a form of some sort of mass delusion that when my dwindling number of liberal friends, that when they bring up anything, I clear my throat. What about the past 4 years when you had this zucchini sitting in the Oval Office?
That they would have tried it out again for another 4 years without any problem.
If they could have,
yes.
If it weren't for that debate when it was, I'd never seen a debate where the podium had a handrail on it, but that was certainly not a show of strength. So
this is the best thing that the Trump administration could have, though, is constantly bringing him out. I mean, should Trump voters just pay to have him come to speaking events at this point?
Can you book him on the show, Brad?
I'll see what I can do.
He's available. He's free. Did you see the photo they posted on his account recently where he had a giant upper body and the skinny legs?
No, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it was on Joe Biden's account. It's the most
find it.
hilarious thing that he's wearing this blue suit and the top of his body looks like a blue mailbox. And then he has these two little chicken legs.
Is it posted in the way that it's supposed to look real? Like we're supposed to believe it?
Do they really think we don't know how Photoshop works? I mean, just how stupid do they think we are that he's walking around? He looks like one of the he looks like the guy from The Incredibles with the cartoon upper body.
Isn't that Coach? That does the voice
Joe
of that?
Biden or Lou Ferrigno?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is another photo that was posted on his account from Easter.
Yeah.
And he was in the background. I don't know how our show ended up repurposing all those pictures with Andre Agassi in them. I don't know how that happened. But I mean, they looked just as believable.
Yeah.
Like you said, don't they know that we know how this works? I mean, you can tell AI to make a better photo than what they're putting out.
Yeah, well, if you put that prompt into AI, make Joe Biden look alive, AI is going to come back and say, "You've got to be kidding me."
Nope.
There's limits to the technology. When the AI technology is able to make Joe Biden look vital, we've almost at the singularity. That's Terminator 5 is coming up after that.
All right, big news this week about the Pope. We have pre-qualified our conversations on here. We're not Catholic, we're Christians. We know it's a big story for a lot of people, a huge Catholic population here in the St. Louis area. I'll tell you what, when you're sitting here and I'm watching, I think Trump was really miffed because he makes the major trade deal with the United Kingdom. And then the Pope's like, I got this one. And he kind of missed the news cycle for it. Was it a big deal for you? Yeah.
Well, as I was telling you, I was raised Catholic, which means I'm no longer Catholic.
Okay.
But I did go to a Catholic college because after high school, I wanted to take not getting laid and kick it up a notch. So that's how smart I was. At age 19, I was like, oh, maybe the Jesuits will have some tips. So I don't know. I think the Pope, I think it's pretty cool that it's an American Pope, from Illinois. So that means the Bears have no excuse for a bad season. That, he's got the ear of God.
Yeah.
And he can't, if only, he probably wishes it happened before the draft. They would have been able to pick
Put
up
in a
couple
good word.
extra. You got to get an extra pick.
How do you since you make all the decisions for Fox News and what they
I do.
cover,
I'm in charge. I'm running the show.
It's very great. We're very grateful that they spared you this afternoon to have this conversation with us. But how do you balance covering? I don't know what they're doing on Gutfeld with it. I mean, it's a very serious and holy thing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, for the majority of people out there, it isn't the same as that. Yeah. So you have to respect, of course, the Fox News audience is going to have a lot of Catholics in it. We certainly do.
Sure.
It was definitely all the news coverage yesterday.
Yeah, well, you have to cover it, and I'm glad they wrapped it up quickly because I think the Cardinals just wanted to get home to their wives. But I was disappointed. There were a couple of the African Cardinals who were coming on strong, and I was hoping that we might get a black pope. I think that might have been kind of fun. Although I did make the unwise post on Twitter saying that we knew it wasn't a black pope because the smoke coming out wasn't menthol, and. I'd just like to say to the one person who didn't like that, that's showbiz, baby.
I should insert here now that Joe will be at the streets of St. Charles tonight.
Here's where he'll be in person.
Yeah.
Come see him.
The people who just tuned in were like, who's this jackass insulting everybody?
I'm pretty sure that as long as you buy a ticket, Joe doesn't care.
I don't.
STLewisFunnyBone.com. Before we wrap, you're going to stick around for Be or Not the Bee with Ryan Wiggins, where we read stories that may or may not be real headlines. When Donald Trump was asked at the White House in the Oval Office about Pope Trump, the image, and his initial response was, who doesn't have a sense of humor? The Catholics aren't mad at me about that. Yeah. I haven't heard of a president defending his right to humor people, but he didn't back away from it. What do you think of that?
It is pretty funny, a president saying, lighten up. Yeah. I did send some of the AI Trump Pope videos to I sent one to my dad, and then I realized after, I don't think my dad really knows what AI is. So it's going to be
not for real.
It's going to be a follow-up conversation for, the next time my dad is having an argument with the system in his new car, yelling at them that they're not playing the oldie station. And here I am sending him, Donald Trump is the Pope.
Yeah.
Flying around on an eagle, throwing holy water at people.
It's funny. It is funny to see the one thing that brought people together after the announcement of the Pope, specifically being American. It was kind of fun, at least in my X feed, to see what being American meant to people.
Yeah.
So like the eagle on top of the pipe where the smoke's just coming out and it's like shooting rifles and flying around the Vatican and stuff. Like that feels like home to me. I don't know if that's good, but that's I'm like, yeah.
Well, in a way that's Trumpian in that if someone were like, I saw one today, it said, this is what the Vatican looks like now with an American Pope. And there was like a Buc-ee's and all these other things.
Culver's logo and stuff.
Yeah. And I saw that and I thought, I know I should probably be mad. But all I replied to it was, you wish.
All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll do Be or Not the Bee with Joe DeVito in studio with us right now. But he's going to be on the stage tonight at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles. The shows tonight are 7:30 and 9:30. Tickets are going fast. So you're going to want to get to stlewisfunnybone.com and reserve yours. There are also 2 shows tomorrow at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles at 6 and 8:30 tomorrow, 7:30 and 9:30 tonight. Get your tickets. Especially Catholics. He wants to see you. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our firm handles hundreds of crash cases involving semi-trucks every year. A crash case involving semis is much different, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can leave lots of money on the table. Many times there is separate insurance for the cab and for the trailer. Sometimes there are actually layers of other insurances and excess insurance that some lawyers may not know about because they don't see that many cases. We see these cases every day. Also, there are federal laws governing the hours a driver may drive in a 24-hour period and logs that are required. A crash case involving a semi-truck is a totally different animal than a simple car crash. We have lawyers who only handle these cases. It's all they do. Rolling the dice with the wrong law firm can be disastrous. Call us on your cell phone at Pound Law, pound 529. It's so easy. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877 25Rhino, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25Rhino.com.
The Diamond Shop graduation sale. All watches are 20% off, even Movado. Men's jewelry is 40% off. 40% off Pirelli G and gold fashion jewelry. Everything else is 30% off. The Diamond Shop.
Cardinals fans, there are more ways this season to watch your Cardinals on FanDuel Sports Network. For the first time, you can subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals without blackouts. Monthly, seasonal, and annual packages available. Also new this season, you can stream FanDuel Sports Network through Amazon Prime Video with an add-on subscription. As always, you can watch FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit Cardinals.com/TV to learn more.
YouTube live chat poll today is who would have been the best flirt between the four of us and Joe DeVito. You care to speak to that, Joe?
Flirting. How is that different from begging?
I think I have a different answer for my poll question here now.
Yeah, I think Annie might win this just based on gender. Brad, Ethan, Ryan, or
It's
Annie.
kind of sexist.
It is, but you might. YouTube live chat poll today. You vote on it by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube, and today's date will come up. You see the live stream. You click on it there and you vote. 12:41. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
No one is above the law. How about Judge Hannah Dugan? Because if you're protesting her arrest, then essentially you're saying yes, that members of the judicial branch are above the law.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
I was tired of my lady.
Wiggins. Oh, Wiggins.
The Bee or not the Bee.
All right, these are all stories that come from either the Babylon Bee, which would make them satire and fake news, or they're real. I'll read the headline. You tell me which is which.
Sometimes the Babylon Bee article is just a little bit ahead of its time, too, which you can tell by the headline. We've got Joe DeVito in studio with us. He's going to play along. You can see Joe DeVito tonight at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles, 7:30 and 9:30 tonight. Saturday, tomorrow, 6 and 8:30. Tickets are available at stlewisfunnybone.com. Go see Joe DeVito and tell him hi from the Annie Fry Show.
All right, let's start with a tough one here. AOC unable to obtain real ID because she died on January 6th and is a ghost.
Probably the bee.
Yeah.
Any disagree?
Yeah, I got the bee.
It's safe to say.
Yeah.
She failed to meet the requirements to get a real ID due to her status as a spectral being in the wake of her tragic death during the riot at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, which now rendered her unable to board airplanes or access federal facilities. Quote, "This is discriminatory against the undead," Ocasio-Cortez said. "It is not fair that only living people are eligible to obtain these real IDs, while people like me and millions of other Democrat voters are barred from getting them due to the simple fact that we're dead."
Yeah. How does brain death factor into that? Whenever her name comes up, I feel compelled to add, probably wasn't a good bartender either.
You know, she sure has wrung every drop out of that rag. Like when you think about where she came from as a bartender, very good at social media before anybody else in Congress probably was ahead of the game. But she actually is a leading voice in the Democrat Party right now.
Which is pretty sad for them. That I think that voice could be silenced any moment as the waistband on her mom jeans creeps higher and higher. She's going to be speaking between the button fly. Have you noticed that her pants?
I haven't.
That's what happens when you hang out with Bernie Sanders. Hang out with an old man, you end up talking through the fly of your slacks.
Do you think? I don't know. I hope I'm not scooping any of your stories, Joe, Ryan. But do you think that the Bernie Sanders explanation as to why he needs to fly private? To me, it's like if you want to fly private, just say that you want to fly private and figure out how to reconcile that with being mad at the millionaires and billionaires, of which you are one. He's not selling it.
I thought he could have been a little bit more creative other than, I don't like the way he used the word scum. Did he call us unwashed scum? Is that
something like that?
Yeah.
You'd think he'd be prepared for that question though.
He could have said it's a chance. I don't know. There's a lot of ways he could have played at that. It's a chance for me to meet with the constituents, or instead of just saying I'm too important for you people.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand.
They should have made him fly Spirit.
Privately. Yeah. You can make him.
I've flown Spirit, so that was funny to me.
Spirit's good. I flew Southwest on the way out here. I forgot that they don't even give you a seat assignment. They just fire a gun in the air.
Not for much longer, though.
That's all this girl flies. Yeah, for sure.
All right. You have to tell me whether this headline is real then, because I think you already know about the story. Quote, "You think I'm going to be sitting on a waiting line at United?" Unquote. Bernie Sanders declares.
That's real.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Real. That is a real quote.
Sorry, I did scoop you.
I actually moved that one to the front of the line.
I'm sorry.
Just to get past it. All right, let's go to the next one. All right. Trump renames San Francisco Bay, quote, Gulf of Criminals. You act like it's funny.
I'm going to say real.
You know what?
Worth a shot.
This really could happen, though.
Why not? He's
yeah.
just constantly antagonizing people.
Right?
It's so great.
Yeah,
and they fall for it every time, right? They never realize they're getting played. That's why he keeps doing it.
Yeah.
There are many Gulfs, but there will only be one Gulf of Criminals, and it's perfect for San Francisco, too. A lot of criminals there, and feces. So many piles of feces. That was the other potential name we considered, Gulf of Feces. But we decided Gulf of Criminals was better. The White House celebrated the Bay's new title while highlighting the mark President Trump was leaving on history. Quote, "No other president has renamed so many bodies of water," said Carolyn Levitt.
Joe, you work with the Gutfeld show. You write for them, correct? And then you're obviously on there as a guest pretty often. Is there a possibility when we get closer to the next presidential round that we potentially see like a Gavin Newsom try to do the Gutfeld thing?
You mean to have
as a guest?
Oh, on the show? Huh. That's a good question because
he seems like he would think that he could nail it.
That's the thing.
And you just gotta make him think he can.
Yeah. We would love to have him on. I'm sure we would extend the invitation because Greg is always saying, "Hey, bring on anybody and see if they can hang." And unlike other shows, we would give them a fair shot. But that's a good way to present Gavin Newsom, that he thinks he is just killing it.
Yeah, and you can watch him think that.
Yeah, you could see that he thinks I'm doing an amazing job, and it's like your state is turning into something that needs a tetanus shot. So
the Gulf of Feces.
Have you guys had a lot of not antagonistic but opposite side of the aisle guests?
You know, I think probably the closest would be Bill Maher was on a couple months ago, and that was interesting. I think the invitation is open. The problem is, even going back to the Red Eye days, I remember they would have a bit wider variety because that was on in the middle of the night. But some of the liberal guests come on and they can't control themselves.
Yeah.
So they want to grandstand or do some sort of big rip off the mic moment. It's kind of an annoying way to conduct yourselves. Because if you look at on CNN, which no one is doing, no one has.
Yeah, let us know how that looks. What's that like?
If you watch Scott Jennings, I can't believe he just hands them their rear ends every time he opens
every time.
And they just sit there and they take it because they realize he's the only reason to watch their stupid network. But he does it in a very, like, he's not unpleasant, he's not obnoxious, and even
he's charming.
He's great. So yeah, I think we would probably have him on if he would come on, and we would treat him respectfully, and that shows you the difference between the networks.
The Red Eye. So Red Eye is probably like the first iteration of what Gutfeld is right now. How long did you work with Red Eye?
Well, Red Eye, I was just on as a guest when the show was on at 3:00 in the morning.
Was it live?
It was not live. But you're not the first person to ask. Is it live?
Just checking.
And it's like, we have slightly better social lives than that.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I did Red Eye, they would throw to the comedians as if we were remote, but I was just downstairs in a different part of the newsroom. And it was so low rent that I was sitting around people who were doing other business Fox News work.
Yeah.
And I had my headset on and my microphone and I'm watching a monitor. And it finally dawned on me how strange it must be for them, because I'm watching the show and then suddenly this guy just starts talking while they're trying to work. There's no idea that I'm on a show, that I'm just some lunatic who wandered in and is blathering. So
was the low rent part of Red Eye though, like part of its charm though? I used to watch it. I can't remember if it was multiple pregnancies after I had babies and I'd be on maternity leave and up in the middle of the night. I watched a lot of Red Eye
Red Eye was great. 'Cause
Yeah.
Part of what made it great, and I think Greg and the other guys involved would admit that they didn't know how to do TV yet. So, Greg says one of the nice things was no one from the network was watching it. But that's how I learned how to do TV too, is that I kind of got eased into it. And when they moved us up from the basement to the table on panel, I remember sitting at the table thinking, what does a human do with his hands? Because I didn't know what to do with my hands. Like, you never think these are things that you don't automatically notice. And after Greg left, they tried me out as a host a couple of years ago, and I was so bad. I don't know if I told you this. When they would talk to me in my ear, I kept answering out loud, and they would say, "Don't say it out loud." I'd be like, "Okay, yes," and they're like, "Shut." So other people are talking, you imbecile. What are you doing? I don't know.
Yeah, the thing like with hands or the way you sit with it with your, I don't know if men think about this, but like, how do I sit with my legs? How often am I allowed to touch my hair? You don't know what to do until you see yourself do it, and you're like, I should not have done that.
Oh yeah, and you realize you've just been clawing at your face the whole time.
Yeah,
like, you're like the Phantom of the Opera or something. Yeah, it's horrifying.
Red Eye was wonderful. I really enjoyed that, and so much of that. It seems like a lot of the original crew is still in some capacity affiliated with Gutfeld.
Yeah, it's another thing that I find so interesting about the show, that when I had done, when he went to do the Saturday show, I was a guest a few times, and then when they made the decision to go nightly, the producer Tom O'Connor reached out to me and to Joe Mackey and said, "You guys want to come on as writers?" And it was very strange, because I remember thinking this show will do well, but I didn't think it was going to be the hit that it's become, and I didn't think that it was going to drive other shows out of business, which is pretty cool, because as a natural hater, I'd enjoyed that. But it made me also understand more about ratings, that we get sometimes 3 million viewers a night, and people always talk about the Daily Show as setting the tone for Daily Show gets 250,000, 300,000. And we're on cable too, just like them.
You're blowing them out of the water. It was people. It was such a hole that needed to be filled, and it was so smart of Fox to do that. And I mean, every night, my kids love to stay up and watch Gutfeld.
Yeah.
And I kind of let the older two do it. The other ones, as long as they're not paying too much attention, I let them watch. But every once in a while, Gutfeld says something, and I look at my kids and I'm like, am I going to explain that or not? And I try to get away with not explaining it. But most of my coming of age conversations with my kids, they start with Gutfeld.
Oh, good. Well, it'll come up in therapy at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it will. You want to hit us with the next article?
Yeah. We've crushed fascism before and we'll crush it again, British World War II vet says before driving a tank over a Tesla.
Oh, you had me until the end.
Yeah.
B?
I think you lost me on the old person driving.
This one is real.
Yeah, this is real.
That's real?
Yeah, this is a real story. A 98-year-old British World War II veteran crushed a Tesla with a tank in some sort of weird publicity stunt. That's what they're saying. Why would you prop this guy up and make him do this? He clearly didn't care. But he did it. He drove over a Tesla in a tank in Great Britain.
Oh, good for him. He'll be dead soon.
One last hurrah.
Can you go ahead and promote Joe's show one more time?
Yeah, stlewisfunnybone.com. 2 shows tonight, 7:30 and 9:30. Tomorrow, 6 and 8:30. Get your tickets while they last.
See him in person.
Yeah. Who was that horrible man?
Democrats offer illegal immigrants $1,001 to stay in the U.S.
What do you think?
Wouldn't put it past them.
You can hit the button.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the B. Stay, please stay, said Pelosi, holding up a wad of bills. We'll offer criminal gang members and undocumented Americans as many taxpayer dollars as it takes. What about 1,002?
I wish they had Bob Barker in there instead.
Trump administration officials have responded with a bid to top the Democrats' offer. 1,000 just a starting point, said Secretary Kristi Noem. We can go higher. We can throw in some Little Caesars gift cards and Kohl's cash, too. Democrats then responded to Trump's latest bid, calling it racist.
You got to put that Kohl's cash in your calendar. Otherwise, it's just paper.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Kohl's cash not redeemable for anything sold at Kohl's.
That's
Thank you.
Yeah, don't get Ryan started.
Oh, my gosh.
You could finish the show. Is it the hat you're wearing right now?
No, it's my Under Armour hat because they wouldn't accept it for Under Armour.
Kohl's cash is good if someone you know has been kidnapped out of Kohl's and you need to pay ransom.
I got 50.
We got time. Trump fires lady who let Lizzo use James Madison's flute.
What? This tracks.
I'm going to go with that as a true story.
I don't know about the story.
Yeah, this is a real story.
I'm going with
How
Joe.
do you know this? Yes, it is a real story.
It's Brad's job to know.
You've seen everything
I'm a
already.
producer. Come
You're
on.
like you're nodding before I even finished it. Like, yeah, of course.
I was completely lost and uninformed. So tell me the story.
Trump has now told Carla Hayden, the Librarian of Congress appointed by Obama in 2016, to take a hike.
Oh, wait.
Hayden-
So the librarian's the one who let her do it?
Yes.
I saw that he fired her. I didn't know that he let her use.
Yeah, Hayden famously brought Lizzo to the Library of Congress in 2022 and loaned her the crystal flute of founding father James Madison and let her play it while twerking.
Yeah. By turking. Yes. Now they can't get the teeth marks out of it. Tried to ingest it.
That's why she got fired.
stlewisfunnybone.com for the tickets to see Joe DeVito tonight at the Funny Bone.
Joe, can I tell you, my mechanic found out that I'm on this show.
Yeah?
I've been going to him for years. And he was like, oh, that's cool. Man, you guys, I watch Gutfeld every night. First thing he told me.
Nice.
So
Good,
you
good
have
deal.
so many fans out there. And so
They were great last night. Like, we're off to a hot start for the weekend, so I'm pumped. This is, I love coming to this. St. Louis is a great town for me.
We appreciate it. Also, we'd be remiss if we didn't thank you personally for passing around Ryan Wiggins' book, which he can't miss an opportunity as any author to talk about his book, The Grocery List.
The Grocery List, not the first book. This
Stop
is that
it.
one.
Stop it.
Yeah.
The Grocery List. You got some autographs for it. And he just.
Sure. Well, I brought around the office. I did tell them that you were a child with a serious disease.
That's fine. It's true.
So I just hope they don't look up chlamydia.
Oh, wrong disease. I don't have those. I don't have any of those.
Those?
Yeah. In that category. I just stay away from that category entirely.
Yeah.
I don't have those.
Hepatitis Z.
Oh, man. Joe DeVito at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles tonight. Get your tickets, 7:30 and 9:30 tonight. Fill it up. Tell them the Annie Fry Show said hi when you go. Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock and 8:30 as well. stlewisfunnybone.com. Joe, always a pleasure. Thanks for being here.
Popes get free admission.
Okay, there you go. From the Midwest. We'll be right back.
If you like
Retirement statements just hit mailboxes, and for many, the shock is real. Some investors lost 20% or more in just the first quarter. If you're close to retirement, that's more than a dip. It's a danger. But here's what most advisors won't tell you. Gold was up over 30% during the same time. That's a 60% swing. And in retirement, that kind of gap can change everything. So compare your Q1 statement to gold's performance. Then call Noble Gold Investments. Noble Gold specializes in helping people protect what they've earned with real assets like gold and silver. If you're tired of watching your nest egg shrink, it may be time for a change. And right now, when you open a qualified account, you'll receive a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. Compare and call 877-646-5347. That's 877-646-5347. Or visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches in my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said, I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple of people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around this store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Visit one of our 2 locations, Creve Coeur and Shiloh, Illinois, and at goodfeet.com.
Well, it seems it was just, I think just about a year ago, last May, when I was attacked by those cicadas. It was a planned attack. I just completely believe it. And I think a couple of them I guess a couple of them did get up into my brain, because I can still hear them making that noise. It's worse than a gnat. No, again, air conditioning. Mother's Day is coming up. So how about if you're in need of an air conditioner and you want to keep your better half nice and cool and everybody's tempers down in the heat and live in a comfortable environment without cicadas in your head like mine, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
Well, yesterday, Robert Prevost. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. Today, Pope Leo XIV celebrating his first Mass today as leader of the Catholic Church at the Vatican Sistine Chapel.
Et demissis peccatis nostris, perducat nos ad vitam aeternam.
American Cardinals are reacting to the election of one of their own as Pope.
He was made for it, says Cardinal Joseph Tobin of Pope Leo XIV. American members of the conclave, which elected Cardinal Robert Prevost as the first U.S.-born head of the Catholic Church, have been speaking in Rome.
A lot of dialogue occurred at mealtime, coffee break, those moments when you can engage one another.
What was important was not the substance of what he said, but the manner with which he spoke.
Cardinals Wilton Gregory and Robert McElroy revealing how the Pope won over the voters. Several cardinals adding the Pope's U.S. nationality wasn't even a factor. In Rome, Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Republican senators say any Iran nuclear deal would need to be approved by Congress. As President Trump makes it clear if the talks are not productive, the United States will have to take military action over Iran's nuclear program.
The Trump administration's nuclear talks are slated to sort of restart after a stalled fourth round this coming weekend in Oman. And this comes just a couple of days before the president himself is going to head to the region. He's getting some backing now from key Republican senators who are pushing legislation to try and force the regime's hand to shut down and terminate their uranium enrichment program entirely.
It's Fox's Jillian Turner. Another outage, radar outage at Newark's Liberty International Airport in New Jersey at 3:55 a.m. for about 90 seconds, the FAA reports. A radar outage April 28th led to hundreds of flights being canceled or delayed. America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee you, if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
No complaints with our weather for a change. Sunshine, a little cool, yes, but the high around 70, delightful. Tonight, clear skies and chilly. A quick drop through the 60s this evening. 48 for the overnight low. Saturday, sunny, 73. Sunday for Mother's Day, sunshine, wonderful, 78 for the high on Sunday. That's pretty close to where we should be. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stewart's American Mortgage is where you call or text or Google Bagel Loan to get the Bagel Loan. Now, a Bagel Loan mortgage, it could be for your first mortgage on a new home. It could be a refinance on your current mortgage situation. You're taking money out, you're investing it in your home, you're paying some debt. When you contact Stewart's American Mortgage at 314-324-4440, you are well on your way to a much better financial situation for yourself, especially if you're looking to purchase a home. If you don't go with the Bagel Loan, when you go somewhere else and you go through the normal process of getting a mortgage, those closing costs are going to cost potentially thousands and thousands of dollars. Don't pay that when you don't have to. Stewie was on with us earlier this week. You can check out the podcast to listen to that conversation. People ask, as is appropriate, who really pays the closing costs? And he explains that they do. They cover it for you because they do business the old-fashioned way. They want to make it the best possible experience for you. And you can access the Bagel Loan when you call 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information. NMLS number 226715.
Step outside and fall in love with your backyard again. From inviting porch overhangs to durable composite decks and cozy screen rooms, Lakeside Renovation and Design creates stunning outdoor living spaces designed for relaxation, entertaining, and making memories. With expert craftsmanship and top-quality materials, your new outdoor oasis will be perfect for every season. Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com to get started. Let's turn your backyard into the retreat you've always dreamed of.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town & Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
Love Talk Radio? We want to hear from you. Help shape the future of your favorite shows right here in St. Louis. Tell us what you love, what you skip, and what you want more of, because your voice matters. You'll be helping us make better radio for you and the entire St. Louis community. It's easy to sign up, and selected panelists will receive a special gift as a thank you. Visit 971talk.com/feedback to join the conversation today. That's 971talk.com/feedback.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not a married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Well, we just got done speaking with Joe DeVito in studio. It's always great to have him in here. He is a writer, a comedian, and he is a regular on Gutfeld, which you probably have seen him many times if you watch that show. We certainly do. He's at the Funny Bone Streets of St. Charles tonight at 7:30 and 9:30. Tomorrow, 6 and 8:30 in the evening. This is a wonderful time. You're going to have a great time. If your evening is free, go grab a bite to eat on the streets of St. Charles and then pop over to the Funny Bone and just laugh and enjoy yourself. Grab a couple friends and have a great night. It's stlewisfunnybone.com. Check out Joe DeVito there. I always love when he comes in. He's a easy guy to talk to, and it's fun to hear some of the Fox News connections, people who we feel like we spend a lot of time with. People listening to the show right now, you feel like you spend a lot of your time with us probably. Well, we all feel the same way about Fox News folks, and so it's kind of fun to have that connection.
Really cool that it works out so well that he's usually here Friday, Saturday, so that we can have him in on a Friday, which is always a little more fun because we're joking around more.
Could you do a stand-up bit?
I've written enough that I could probably do it. I've never done anything longer than maybe a couple minutes, though.
Do you think you could make people laugh?
Yes, I think I could. I was looking back over my material a few weeks ago.
Why?
Because it'd been a while since I looked at it, because I was like, oh yeah, I wrote this a long time. I never used any of this. And it's written in a voice.
Do you ever try any of it out on here without us knowing?
I don't think so.
He wouldn't tell us if he did.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
I think we'd be able to tell.
Yeah, because I'd start going, I know, Trump, right? And what's the deal with these peanuts? You'd be like, I think that's from your bit. I'm like, no, I just came up with that.
Did you come up with that by yourself?
Right. It's some weird stuff. It's surprise. It would be really bizarre material.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, you're very funny, but people have to understand you in order to understand the funny, which is honestly not really any different than most comedians.
No, you gotta bring the people into your thing. You have to have a presentation and a kind of a character, and then you bring people into that world. That's how you do it. I mean, that's for me, who's done maybe 2-3 minutes of stand up.
You've actually stood up in front of people in a
sort of. I did it with a guy. I used to write with a guy.
This sounds like a Ryan Wiggin-ism.
I've done weird stage stuff. I don't know that I've done Ryan.
Elaborate on that one.
Weird stage stuff.
Go on.
Did it involve feather boas?
No, that's gross and old timey. Nowadays, you just go down to Sage and they're like, amateur night. And you're like, okay. And then you get up and do your bit. It's not gross. You guys are looking at me like I'm doing naked stuff. Come on now.
Gosh, get Joe back in here. Do it now.
So to answer your my long and winding answer to your question is sorta.
Brad, could you do stand up?
People laugh at me all the time, and I don't think that.
I don't know. If
I don't know if that's what we're aiming for here.
Could you do it?
I would try it. I don't know that I could write jokes that would be funny, but I would try it.
How do you?
Could you?
I don't know.
You've done tons of stage work, though.
Yeah, I know how to. Yeah. Yeah. Elaborate on that one.
I can't. There's nothing funny about it.
There's no NDA here.
You get up there and you just start talking. And people are like, wow.
YouTube live chat poll for today is who would have been the best flirt? You know why that's today's poll? Because they couldn't come up with anything, and it was 11:59.
Yes, it was.
And that is the truth.
I think it might have been past noon, actually. I don't think it was 11:59.
I was in a hurry. We're going to do next question. You can ask us anything in the Any Fry YouTube live chat on the YouTube channel. Brad and Ethan, make sure you're setting aside any of those questions that we get as they come through. Beautiful day outside today. There's a Middle East trip coming up for the president. So that's something that I'm kind of like side-eyeing right now. It's not here yet. What's he going to go there and accomplish? What's he going to come back with? Is he going to come back with trade deals? Is he going to come back with peace deals? Is he going to come back with nothing? I don't know. That's coming up. The new Pope. I am so strongly resisting the urge to profile the political angle of this Pope, because I think that if we can really parse the new Pope on his politics, then he's not poping correctly. I'm not a Catholic, so I don't know that my opinion on it even matters. But what I would really like is for somebody who is the leader of what the largest Christian church there is, right? Is there a larger Christian church than the Catholic Church? That for them to be very Christ-centered and above the fray when it comes to politics. Don't you think that for in the time that we're living like now, people talk a lot about how religion there's a little bit of a renaissance going on right now. People are seeking out spirituality, potentially religion, potentially Christian religion. I mean, you could obviously argue that the pull there is like the Holy Spirit, but also we have kicked down every single boundary that exists and defiled every boundary that exists in our understood culture. That's become the new culture. And I feel as though people are not nearly as comfortable in that sense of living. And we're not seeing the production as a society out of this newfound boundaryless way of living our lives in a civilized community and society. The people are wanting to put up boundaries, not for other people, but for themselves as a definitive way to go about living their lives. Does that make sense?
Well, let me ask you a question to clarify. Are you saying that you think people are receptive to Christ or the Holy Spirit?
Well, I don't know that it's even, I don't even know that it,
you're talking about social change.
I think it's bigger and broader than religion. Now, as a Christian, I would probably be inclined to say that it's all driven by religion, but that's my faith belief. So I'm trying to have a bigger conversation than that. But I feel very much so that the push against traditional norms that really, I was born in 1984. My entire life has been about pushing down and redrawing the boundary lines. Maybe that's always everything. Maybe every decade is like that, pushing down the boundary lines and trying to redraw what is socially acceptable, culturally acceptable. But I mean, we've gone so far. This is slippery slope stuff. We've gone so far that we don't even identify two genders anymore, which is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. We have people advocating for the entire system of girls' sports, which in my lifetime, there was an incredible effort to protect girls who wanted to play sports and also make sure that girls were offered the opportunity to participate in sports, that all the dollars and cents weren't always going to go to the boys. There was a huge effort at the beginning part of my life to make sure that girls' sports were protected. And now all of that has been willfully thrown out the window to protect the 1% of us who identify as female, but we're males. And everybody has to move and change their life in order to accommodate those people. That's just absurd. You can, like, there are things that we can say, and people are starting to push back now to be like, that is absurd. You know, we wouldn't say that because the boundaries of everything were intentionally blurred and then they were disappeared so that you can't run to your corner because there are no corners anymore. You're just going to be isolated, standing out in the open and being pointed at as a bigot or a racist or a sexist or a phobe of some kind, whatever. And I think religion is the main catalyst for it, but I feel like we are living in a time right now where people are wanting and craving boundaries that we collectively agree upon. So, and again, like I'll reiterate what I said before, like I want boundaries for my family. I want my family to agree upon the boundaries that we are going to live our life in. For my family, it's my Lutheran faith that interprets the Bible, so it's scripture, that says it's this. Easy, 10 commandments. You know, and then the love thy neighbor. You know, the idea that is set in scripture is my moral compass, but I don't think that you can, for the most part, the 10 commandments, at least 7 of them, you could look at and not necessarily have to have a biblical compass to be like, you should listen to your parents. You should not lie to people. You should not murder people. You shouldn't sleep with your neighbor's wife. Mine comes from scripture. I think you could abide by those to your best abilities without having a scripture compass. But I think that people want it. I think that people are actually craving a collectively understood sense of boundaries. There are going to be exceptions, but you want to know that the exceptions are the exceptions.
We're created to need boundaries. And the more we cast them off, it's always hypocritical to cast off boundaries because then you're just creating new ones. Even if you talk to somebody who's completely anarchist, you know, they believe in no law, no morality. They would say, well, you can't say anything is wrong. But in saying that, you're saying something's wrong.
Right. You're setting it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't really ever get there. And you're right, Annie. We're in now a generation that has been told over and over, you know what? Nobody really cares about you because nobody actually cares enough to tell you what's right and wrong. And they crave it. You go, oh my gosh, you're right. I need to know the difference between right and wrong. And so they kind of make it up. And they make it up based on their feelings. And they realize
it's insatiable.
After a few years, it just doesn't go anywhere.
Well, it's just also interesting that you bring that up, that people crave boundaries, because the other thing the boundaries do is, you know, you think about boundaries as walls. Walls keep bad things out as much as they keep you confined. It's more of a safety thing. And I'll use this as an example. You would look at murder and say, we shouldn't have to tell people that murder is wrong. But we do have to tell people murder is wrong. We do have to set those boundaries out there because there are people out there that exist who will take another person's life and not even think twice about it. There are other areas. If you look through society and how we've expanded or changed these boundaries, you open loopholes for bad people to come in and do bad things. And you're doing it. Maybe your heart's in the right place whenever you push some of these boundaries out. You're like, we don't want to exclude these people. We don't want to do that. But you're opening up a dangerous situation. And that's why I think that people do crave boundaries, because there's a sense of safety and security that comes with it as well.
I think morality is often confused with faith and religion. And, you know, even the word religion in and of itself is complicated because a lot of people how many people have you ever heard be like, I have faith, but I don't believe in organized religion. And that doesn't make me mad at those people. It makes me sad for those people. And I liken it to, you know, if you're somebody who has put off going to church or to worship, a lot of times the pushback against that is this kind of recoil that people have towards the thought of organized religion. Like, I don't need to be told when and where to worship my God and stuff like that. And I think it's important to understand that, at least the way I view my faith and worship, is I don't view it as an obligation. When my husband and I get to spend time together, we love each other. And when my husband and I get to spend time, we choose to do that. We choose to do that as much as we possibly can. We don't always get to do that because we have other things going on in our lives, but we choose to spend time with one another because we love one another. If I felt like, oh, gosh, it's Thursday night, I got to see Jared again, I got to do it, otherwise I'm going to be a bad wife. That's not a marriage. That's not a relationship. That's an obligation. That's a chore. That's a job. And I can understand why, if that's the way you felt about your relationship with God, that it would not be something that you would want to do. But you can't have a healthy relationship if you're not wanting to participate in it. And it can look different for different people. I understand that. Worship looks different for different people. But the idea of coming together and being in worship with people who believe the same thing that you believe is a powerful thing. And it's an encouraging thing. And, I hope that this somewhat resurgence of interest in faith, interest in church, maybe it's the Catholic Church, maybe the new Pope has brought some sort of encouragement for you. Not Catholic. That's not my experience personally. But if there is something that ends up making you curious about going back to church, stop it with the things that have held you back. Like, just ask yourself this: what would want you to not go to church? And why would said thing not want you to go to church? What would want to hold you back from the experience of the next time you walk in, sit down in the back of the pew of the church there, and just take in a church service? What would want to keep you out of that? What entity would want to make you think all of the negative thoughts about what happens inside that church building? And then maybe choose to test that and go. I love hearing about the interest in religion that is taking place. And this week, with the Pope being chosen, I think a lot of people are paying attention to the Catholic Church. But for the non-denominational Southern Baptist Lutherans in the room, we'll just broaden it.
I was really encouraged to see yesterday, watching all of the conclave and all that. It was, 85-90% people under the age of 30.
A lot of young people.
Celebrating there. That was neat. That was neat to watch.
When we come back, we're going to do next question. Your thoughts, your questions that you'd like to know from us. You can throw them in the AnyFry YouTube chat. Let me check here. We are so close to 12,000. Where is my number here? I'll have to tell you when we come back, because we are very close. We are 11,919. So we need 81 people to come subscribe to the AnyFry YouTube channel and push us over that 12,000 mark. Maybe you could be a part of making that a success for us. We would love you if you did. We love all of you who already have, over 11,000 people who have already joined us on the YouTube channel. Maybe you should as well. Once you subscribe, 5 minutes later, you are a part of the YouTube chat. So get in there and throw your question in, vote in the poll. We'll be right back.
So kiss me.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
So Civia Law is there to guide you through life's transitions. And if you call Civia Law right now at 833-995-WILL, they've got multiple offices in Missouri and Illinois. If you're the first 10 to call, you get a free strategy session. 833-995-WILL. Put that number down. I'm going to say it here one more time. Type it in your phone, and then I'm going to explain some of the things that they can help you with. 833-995-WILL. Hurry up and grab one of those free strategy sessions that they have for Annie Fry Show listeners. I think it's very important to key in on what it means to have an estate plan established This allows you not just to pass on your assets, but also to pass on your values. When you make the call, when you make the decision, when you get to allocate what and where and to whom, you get to have the confidence that your values that you lived with are going to move on with the things and the stuff for those people who you love. You can, set aside charitable giving. You can establish trusts, and also very important, if you have dependents, you can establish and designate guardianship. Call them today to start your conversation. And if you do it, hurry. And you mentioned my show, you get to do it for free. 833-995-WILL. That strategy session, a $300 value on them. If you're the first 10 to call, 833-995-WILL. Hit them up online at civialaw.com.
Setting goals for your retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, listen to the All Financial Hour with Steve All, Saturday mornings at 6, here on 97.1 FM Talk.
You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
It's like 25 the laughs that you bust out of prison. Something's in the air. Something's in the air. It's like that feeling when you're just about to kill it. Take your last shot, you know you're gonna hit it.
Next question. It's a legitimate question.
Next question.
Next question, please.
Next question on the Annie Fry Show.
All right. It's an Ask Me Anything moment here on the Annie Fry Show. We'll wrap up this hour if we have enough questions to answer your questions. We're going to start with Brad. We'll go to Ryan, and then I'll pull from the audience here on the YouTube chat. Brad, your very in-depth and specific question.
All right. So.
All right. Let's say you're in the woods.
It's 72 degrees.
Yeah, it's 72 degrees out. You get to pick one member of the Biden administration, and all the legal, conspiracy theories are confirmed, and they go to prison. Who do you think it would be? Whoa. Or who would you get to pick?
Who do I get to send to prison from the Biden administration?
Yeah, you get to pick one person there.
Who do you pick?
I think I go with Hunter Biden.
Really?
Yeah, I think he goes to prison.
Man, that's tough.
I don't know if it counts, but can I say Adam Schiff?
Ooh, conspiracy theories abound. Yeah.
I don't know if he's part of the administration, but he certainly was an inside part of the hoax.
I'm going to say whoever it was that was using that auto pen. I don't know who it was, but that's part of discovery would be finding that person, because that person was probably doing a lot more than just clicking an auto pen. They were probably running a lot of really shady stuff because they would have been in charge. Maybe that's Jill. I don't know who that is.
No, it's an actual office in the White House.
Oh, is it?
And they have I talked to Will about this. They have no paper. The only paper that comes, because Will's Mr. Paperman, every document goes through Will Scharf in the White House. But the auto pen people are the only people who don't have any paper that originates from their office. So that way there's nothing that they can start, but also auto pen and sign.
But they knew it was coming from an office.
I'm just saying that there is a pen. The auto pen exists in an office, and I don't remember what the office is called specifically. But there's a specific, and it's kind of part. I say this, and it's going to sound like I'm saying something bad, but it's part of the bureaucracy. It doesn't change with the president unless they would come in and I suppose fire them. But it's not staffed by the current administration specifically. I'm not saying that right, but you get the idea. Nope.
So that it would be the same person signing it now.
Yes. The same people who were there during the Biden administration are there now in the auto pen department.
So they could just go ask them.
They could probably ask details. Yeah.
That guy. My question is a little bit of a thinker. So if you need a second I'll answer first.
Who are you talking to?
Both of you.
Okay.
It's not Christmas time, but has there ever been a present you were excited to give somebody that turned out to be a pretty crappy gift?
You go first.
I've got one.
What?
And it does not involve you at all. Everything I've given you, I'm very proud of.
I believe it.
But I'm
still drinking off the $30 Scooters gift card.
Are you?
Yeah.
How about that root beer?
I don't even know where it is. I'm gonna be honest. It might be in the fridge downstairs.
Oh, good. I'll drink it next time I'm over. All right. The worst gift I've ever given was 2 years ago for Christmas. And I see it every day, which is why I'm reminded of it. My son, who was 5 at the time, wanted a shark that drove around called Mega Chomp. And he just could not stop talking about Mega Chomp. And so we got him Mega Chomp. He opened it. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is the greatest gift ever. And then Mega Chomp just was a shark that drove around. And within about 3 or 4 minutes, he was so sad that it wasn't.
Did the commercial oversell it?
Oh, it had to be. Like something he saw somewhere indicated that this thing was going to chew right through the couch and you were going to fall through it and stuff, you know? And none of that was even remotely true. And now Mega Chomp sits right by our back door. And every day I walk by it and I'm
throw
like,
it away.
Poor old Mega Chomp. He won't let me throw it away, but he never plays with it.
I'll say that one Christmas, my oldest daughter is kind of an old soul. She never really was like super into toys that were kind of age appropriate or whatever. She didn't really play with dolls. She played with she played basketball or volleyball or stuff like that.
Play with a portfolio.
And I mean, if I'd have given her one, and one Christmas we gave her kind of like older things, and I could tell by the end that she didn't get anything fun. And I felt really bad about that. And then I think I was like, at the end, I was like, and your last gift is we're going to go let you pick out your favorite toy at the toy store. I don't know. She was probably like 8 or 9 at the time. She likes clothes, stationery.
But she was 8. And you guys were like, I think I know her.
Well, and I mean, she liked all that stuff, but she basically had the Christmas of an adult. And I screwed that up. Brad?
Yeah, I keep going back and trying to think of this, and there are so many gifts in the past that I thought would be really good that turned out like in hindsight. And I haven't even gotten feedback on these, and I'm just like, I don't know if that was good or not. Sometimes it's whenever I get my wife a gift for like an anniversary or something like that, and it'll be something she's like, no, just get me this, just get me this, just get me this, and she's asking for like a vacuum cleaner, and you're like, I can't get you a vacuum cleaner, but
no,
like,
you just do it, man.
This is what I really want. So you get it for her, and she's like, oh, great.
Unless it's like your second date,
yeah,
and she says, give me a vacuum cleaner. If you've been married for a decade plus and she's like, I would like this vacuum cleaner, get her the freaking vacuum cleaner.
Second date vacuum cleaner is kind of weird.
Yeah,
that's my
point. Why are you asking me that?
You know what I could use is some household appliances here.
What are you trying to
I
say?
can't remember your name, but
Dropping hints. Yeah, so it would be something like that. I can't think of a specific incident though.
Ender said, what is that one time at college story? Do you have any?
Oh my gosh. Yes. How
pick one.
How do I narrow it down?
And no, I'm not.
Brad, do you have one? Go on.
All right.
Go on.
This is so stupid. But speaking of stage work, one time I went to an open mic night with a friend of mine. I'm going to say a word that's, can I say it on the air? I won't. I'll say it and you'll know what it really was. It was an open mic night in Carbondale. And we went there, and it was a lot of college students trying out their material and stuff, doing 5 minutes. And so me and my friend went up there, and we said, check this out. I just walked up to the mic and said, check this out. And then we put a boombox up to the mic, played the Friends theme song, and I shaved his butt.
What?
And I'm just shaving my
Did
friend's
people
butt.
think it was funny?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have that story like that. I'm trying to think of a singular story that happened in college that it would be just above the that is so lame, Annie line. And I haven't thought of one of those. Now I can't. What am I?
That's not what we said. I walked up to the mic and I said, we're straight. and then we did that.
Brad?
We did that bit.
You were the friend, weren't you?
No. No. My problem with this question is that I was like well into my 20s before I went to college. There was a big gap from whenever I graduated high school, I went to work, and then I went to college. And so I was older than everybody at college, and everybody kind of looked at me like a dad. And I didn't really do stupid things. I was usually the one being like, don't do that. That's dumb. So I don't really have any good, like, I shaved my friend's butt at an open mic night stories.
We used like
Nobody
shaving
has
cream
those
and
stories, Brad. Those aren't real stories.
Yeah.
Real normal
I did
people.
not put the shaving cream on, by the way. He did.
Details. By the way, my dad texted and said me and my friend, which you said, and I thought, but didn't correct you on. But since Dad said it, and you guys are so tight, I thought you'd want to know that he says hi.
I don't want to know that. I was in the moment.
I know. So you could probably tell it's a real story. The only, like, good grief, I can
I
think
got
of.
that on video, too.
No, you don't.
I don't believe you.
No, you don't. No. When my good friend that I went from grade school through high school decided to go to the Army and sign up for boot camp. You have to remember we graduated high school in 2002. So September 11th, 2001 was my senior year of high school. I had several friends who signed up for the military, and it's not a crazy wild story, but the funny part about this is that there were three of us who were going to go out and acknowledge the night before he went to boot camp, send him on his way. And it was me and like my best friend growing up, Tim, and my friend Aaron. And the story is that we ended up at Hooters, and I've never been at Hooters before, but I'm like, this is my duty to my country to endure Hooters because he's going to boot camp. Well, I was talking to Aaron about this not terribly long ago. He's like, I hated Hooters. That was Tim's idea. And I'm like, why was I at Hooters for that? But we ended up having a great long night. And I mean, we were getting ready to go to war at that point. So it was kind of a interesting bow on what was our childhood and be like, okay, you're going to boot camp now because there's a potential war brewing. That was pretty crazy. But that's not butt shaving. So what can I?
It seems like there's a lot of comments about this. Really split, too. Some people saying, who would do that? Joe saying, who would not do that?
Next question. Moving along. Brad?
Okay. Well.
Did you ask a question yet, Ryan?
Yeah, it was about Mega Chomp.
And that was answering the question.
All right. This is kind of a rapid fire thing here. So I'm going to say some topics, and I need you to say who the person at the office is you would go to for this item if you needed one. All right. So toothbrush or mouthwash?
Who would I go to in the office?
Yeah,
for this?
if you needed it.
I have that stuff.
You have that stuff.
Annie.
The answer's no.
If you needed hairspray.
I have that stuff.
I don't ever need that.
To make something stickier.
Yeah.
What about a Band-Aid?
Trisha.
Yeah, probably Trisha.
Trisha should be a good one for that.
She
Yeah.
might have the first aid kit.
What about ranch dressing?
Ryan.
I do have that.
That's all I got.
I've got mouthwash and hairspray, and you have ranch.
And hot sauce.
I've said this before, but the gas station, the old Shell station that's on Tucker and whatever that, I don't know what street it is. It's north of Washington, but they decided they were going to tear it down. They're going to put something else there. Who knows what? But somebody graffitied up their peace, love, and ranch. And I'm like, welcome to St. Louis, folks. The homeless encampment is just this way.
It sounds like an ad.
Peace, love, and ranch. I know, it kind of should be. They should get a picture of it before they tear the building down. Send your questions to us on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat. We'll hit some more on the other side of this break, including if Ethan's going to join us once again. Who would have been the biggest flirt among the four of us? Brad, Ethan, Ryan, or myself? And tell us in the comments why you voted the way you did. Some of these are pretty funny. We'll be right back with Morning Fry Show in a minute.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Retirement Advisory Group is having another event, and I'm going to be there, and I hope that you are as well. You do need to reserve your spot. It's happening Tuesday, May 20th at the Frontenac Hilton. Starts at 6:30 p.m. and it's free. Doesn't cost you anything. There are snacks and treats, which is always a good draw. So why would you not take 45 minutes out of your evening to learn how to protect your retirement with the best in the business? The Retirement Advisory Group will have Thomas Helbig, Bob and Tammy Kershaw will be there, and they invite Mark Cox, Mark Reardon, and myself to come join. We are there from 6 to 6:30 to say hello, to greet you at the door, and to meet each and every one of the people who fill this room. And we want you to be one of them. 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Call the Retirement Advisory Group. Tell them you're interested in the Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, May 20th at the Frontenac Hilton. It's easy. It's free. There are snacks. You're going to be in. You're going to be out. You're going to be educated. And you're going to be glad that you did it. RetirementKey.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for New Perspective Senior Living, where your loved one will enjoy chef-prepared meals, engaging activities, state-of-the-art technology, and a welcoming community that feels like home. Visit npseniorliving.com to schedule a tour today. New Perspective, where every day is a chance to live life on purpose.
Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself, are you currently receiving steady paychecks? What about when you're retired? Will you receive a monthly check to cover your expenses and also have some fun? Marvin Mitchell and the team at Compass Retirement Solutions calls this mailbox money. It's a monthly check you'll receive throughout retirement. They don't want you to worry about if the money will show up or how much money you'll receive. The only thing they want you to think about is how to spend it when it arrives. Find out how to get enough money in your mailbox every month when you're retired. Call Marvin Mitchell and the Compass Retirement Solutions team at 314-373-1598 to start working on a plan that can help you create the monthly income you'll need in retirement. Call 314-373-1598 right now and schedule a visit with Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
The Biz Dash returns as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Combining fitness and fun, it's a perfect team bonding activity for any size business. All levels of runners and walkers are welcome. Join us this spring at Energizer Park, home of St. Louis City SC, for the 10th year of the Biz Dash, the ultimate office party and kickoff to summer. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
Once you vote, you can't change your vote. YouTube live chat poll is, who would have been the best flirt? Brad, Ethan, myself, or Annie? Let us know what you think based on what you know about us. It's the YouTube live chat poll today, 142. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Annie. Join me for the 5th annual Chairman's Golf Tournament on Monday, May 12th at Tamarack Golf Club in Shiloh, Illinois, benefiting the St. Clair County GOP. The 4-person scramble includes awesome prizes and lunch. We're broadcasting live. Learn more at 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Needless to say, I keep a check. She was a bad bad, nevertheless. Calling it quits now, baby, I'm a wreck. Crash at my place, baby, I'm a wreck. Needless to say, I'm keeping a check. She was a bad bad, nevertheless.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're glad you're here with us on a beautiful Friday afternoon. Mother's Day is this weekend. Are you guys doing Mother's Day things? That's my next question for you guys.
Mother's Day is interesting because I have to balance it between, this is probably everybody, my mom and my wife.
It's a real burden for you, I know.
And it's so hard on me that I don't really know. I guess I'll probably just defer to whatever they want. But really what my wife wants is a day off.
Amen.
So I typically do something to get the kids out of the house, let her do whatever. It's decent right now. Probably get it to clean.
Man. Clean the house. Don't buy me anything. Clean the house.
Wow.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And then Father's Day, I guess I end up getting the same thing in return, which is a day off. But
yeah.
I don't really care as much as she really likes that day.
I love Mother's Day.
She likes getting the day off.
It's probably her favorite thing that she is.
Yeah.
So it
makes...
Wife.
Yeah,
Mom. You want me to ask her?
I don't want you to ever talk to her again.
Do you like being a mom or a wife more?
Don't.
The answer would probably always be depends on the day for every woman.
Nah.
Do you like being a mom or a wife more?
Good question.
I'm not a girl.
We hadn't publicly identified.
The gray beard argues against that.
We're doing a little next question here right now. We'll start with who would have been the best flirt? Brad, Ethan, Brian, or Annie? Apparently, Ethan has some thoughts that we wanted to make sure we included here on the show today. Also, very last minute poll. Couldn't come up with anything else.
You know, when I look at these results,
what do you have, a monologue prepared?
You can't.
No, hold on. I'm not giving anything away.
Okay.
I'll say it's in slightly better condition for me than it was when I first looked.
How many accounts? I mean, we are very close to 12,000. I would appreciate the contribution to get us there with your fake accounts. We only need 78 people to get 12,000. Did you?
Are you asking me to make 78 fake YouTube accounts? Is that what's being asked right now?
I don't really care. It's like 2020 election. Just do whatever you got to do.
Okay. Stop the count. Stop the count.
You don't have till 3 a.m. It's
just
3
cover
p.m.
the glass, break a water pipe, and get it done.
I will tease this. Right now, we're at 144 votes.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see if we can get those numbers up a little bit. And right now, it's a battle.
There are two races happening right now.
Correct.
There are two of us that are in competition for first, and two of us that are don't look.
Hey, what do you think you're doing over there?
Eyes on your paper.
Yeah, keep your eyes over there.
So Ethan, you think that you are the number one flirter?
Listen, I think that I deserve at least a shot at second.
Are you in last?
No.
It's a battle for it. It's mighty. Quit looking. It's mighty tight over here. Listen, I think that people look at Ryan and they see just blind courage / stupidity, and they confuse that with flirting.
Oh
gosh.
That's not wrong. I'd fight you, but that's real close.
It's an accurate perception.
And Brad, I mean, everything that Brad has shared with us makes me wonder why the people would think he has game.
Brad?
I would agree with that too.
I don't know why the people would think I have game either.
So I'm wondering,
like I saw this poll and I was like, why wouldn't you pick Ethan?
Wow.
Yeah, I
mean, it's
mean,
really nice.
Like if you look at like
Ethan's like, I don't have anything else
know
to
what
say.
to
I mean,
say.
he's got great charisma, great hair. He's
Yes, there
funny.
is.
He's relaxed. You never feel like Ethan is uptight or whatever. So like, I feel like Ethan could just walk in, say hi to a girl and get her number.
Ryan's
and
just
like the
waiting
girl
for
wouldn't
you
even
to
know.
do him
But
now.
I wear joggers, and that is
Yeah, you do look like
my
a slob.
one
According to Brad.
downfall.
That's
But you know
easy to
what?
change,
Girls
though.
like that because
Ethan-
girls like the guy that just
Ethan,
doesn't care.
the numbers don't lie though.
Huh?
Maybe the joggers are holding you back.
They can't see my joggers. They can't on the camera. They can't hear my joggers.
I kind of wonder if I understand why Brad keeps bringing him up.
I know.
Brad?
He gave you a
got
lot
something.
Give you
got
a lot of
something to share?
compliments too.
This guy could. It's the only thing holding him back.
Is Brad playing the I don't have any game? Is that his game?
I don't have game.
Think about this for a
No.
second.
He's trying to be modest. You think?
Is he trying to be? Is the attention getting? Is it just the exact opposite of Ryan?
Yeah, I can answer that. The answer is no. He just doesn't have the game.
It depends.
Somebody like you would say that.
And he genuinely finds Ethan attractive.
No, he doesn't.
All
keeps
that he said is
crapping
very
on
true.
His clothes and everything.
Well, he just wants him to dress nicer.
Who's the best flirt? Who would have been the best flirt pre-marriage? We're all married to other people.
I'm
Thank
really
God.
caught between two people, and it's a surprise too.
Uh-huh.
It's you, because
Why is that a surprise?
Because I don't know. I never pick you to win anything.
Okay,
I'm
just like default makes you mad inside.
That is against you. You because you're a girl, and
What?
I think girls just no. That's not even true. Not all girls would be good at flirting. I think that you'd be good at flirting. Though.
I do too.
Because I could see you really turning the charm on if you wanted to impress a guy.
You think I'm charming?
I could see you
Or do
turning
you
it
think
on.
you think I'm fake charming?
I think you're fake charming.
My reasoning is because I've seen you monologue. You're very good at being on your toes, right? Just kind of having to go with the flow. And I think that is a very important quality and aspect of flirting is going with the flow of the conversation. And that's why I think that you would be a pretty good flirt.
Better than Ryan?
I think you probably have more effect because you're prettier.
Couldn't have said it better. Yeah, look, we who are
That'll
good
be
at
next
this.
Friday's poll if I'm late again. Who's the prettiest?
prettier?
If I'm not winning at 2:00, I'm not coming back.
If you're gonna have game, you also have to know what your limitations are.
I do just want to add though that since we started talking about this, Ryan's numbers have gone up and Annie's have gone down.
No!
So I don't know if that has, but mine have also gone up and Brad's have gone down. So I don't know if there's correlation or not. But I just wanted to share some.
What is the key to
analytics.
successful flirting? Who's got a thought?
I think the very first thing would be confidence, wouldn't it?
Brad, you're the one who said you have no game.
I don't have game.
He doesn't have that. He's telling you he has no confidence.
He knows what he doesn't have, and you can't go get it.
Correct.
I think I know what I have and what I don't have. I do have
That
confidence.
sounds like confidence.
But
I'm confused.
But I don't have game. So
because it's not just confidence. You
You're
have
right,
to have
there's
a
more to
certain
it.
amount of charisma, but too much of that becomes a turnoff, I think. To where it's like now it's like, oh, now you're just full of yourself. And
Ryan, go ahead and read this comment here from Joe.
I don't care if it's coming from a guy. I could see Annie doing that helpless girl flirt thing. Oh, it's about you. Okay. To get someone to do manual labor. You're so big and strong. Thanks for lifting that.
Could you
smart?
Could you say that in like the Sailor Boy
No!
voice?
Yes, please do.
You lift this heavy thing for me.
That's what she does during her monologues, like you said. She's flipping her hair.
She
She's looking at
touches-
the side.
Then she touches your arm.
Sideways look.
So
Oh,
strong. I've never said that to Ryan.
I have seen her do that to get you to do something. though.
Yeah.
What?
It's not common, but she will do it.
Do what?
The helpless girl thing. It's like,
Yes.
I can't get this bottle of wine open.
I tell that story all the time. It's one of my finest moments.
No, you do it here. I can't remember specifics, but there are times that you're like, oh, like the other day. Right, Ryan, I can't reach this plug. Can you get it?
Oh yeah.
And you totally could reach it.
No, I couldn't reach it.
You just wanted me to do it.
No, I couldn't reach
I'm
it.
the one that did it.
And she was testing to
Stop.
see if I was tall
Stop.
enough.
That wasn't flirting. That wasn't because I needed something. I had said to Ethan, hey, Ethan, can you reach this? I need something plugged.
Yeah, because we have
And
an
in the
outlet on the
In
ceiling.
the studio, the outlets are on the ceiling. So Ethan is taller than all of us, especially Ryan. So I asked Ethan to plug it into the ceiling for me, but Ryan didn't see that. And Ryan goes, how'd you get that plugged in there? I go, oh, I just did it myself. You can do it too. I didn't think he could. And he could, but he had
I
to like
could.
balance it on the top of his fingers and
No,
push it up.
it wasn't that bad.
But he didn't know that you really did it.
He
I
pulled
was just
the milk crate over.
I also
No, I did not.
I also said that some lady at the store asked me to do that. She's hey, I'm like, oh, she's like, could you grab that Dr. Pepper off the top of the shelf? And then
did she say yoo-hoo?
No, she didn't. But then I
Wouldn't
said
she have moved a little faster if she would
right.
have?
But then I asked Ryan, I said, do you have to do that at the store for the top shelf?
I do.
Do you ever do people flirt with you in modern times? Like are
I
you
have no idea. I still don't know. There are times
Women
when
are
I
impossible to read.
I
I
would
have no
say,
idea.
I think that woman might have been flirting with me. I remember one within the last 5 years that I said, I think that lady was flirting with me. And the guy next to me goes, that lady is married and was not flirting with you at all.
if your wife, Ryan, saw a woman kind of flirt with you a little bit, maybe a waitress at a table or something like that, how would she react?
Negatively.
She wouldn't like it.
But she never
Get a little possessive?
That never happens.
Hmm.
So
You
I
want-
don't really know.
Do you want us to set something up?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind.
Need the confidence.
Well, if it's a setup, it's not real. You think she'd get defensive of you?
She would get defensive.
Would she tell him to knock it off?
I don't know. I don't think she would. I think she would tell me to tell them to knock it off.
That's the worst.
I know. Because I would
I'm
have
gonna
to say,
excuse
ma'am,
me, miss. I need you to stop hitting on me.
Yeah, ma'am, you can see that I'm married here.
Yeah.
You need to stop doing what you're doing.
Ethan, you're younger and you are. When's your anniversary?
June 1st will be 1 year.
Coming up here
Attaboy.
shortly. So you're young. It would be more likely that you would be available than the rest of us in here.
Mhm.
How would your wife react to being there and seeing somebody flirting with you?
My wife is not a confrontational person.
Mm-hmm.
One, I wonder if she would even notice if someone was flirting with me because she's has tendencies to be a little oblivious to those kinds of things. But if she did notice, I have to imagine that she would probably just kind of stand there awkwardly smiling, like seeing it happening.
Did she
knowing,
flirt
like,
with you?
Yeah, I got him locked up. Huh?
Did she flirt with you?
I mean, yes.
Is that part of her game?
Yes.
Did she say things
No,
like,
they just signed a contract.
Ethan, can you empty the spittoon and get my chewy tobacco?
Wait.
Brad, if somebody was flirting with you, how would your wife react?
My wife would probably think it was funny. I think that she feels like, and she's right, she's got me on lock, so she's not really worried about me going anywhere. And she would think it would be kind of funny watching me like miss the signals or whatever would happen. But I do know that when before we were dating and we were in that I like him, she likes me stage, I kind of told the story the other day on air. She got jealous whenever I was running interference for my best friend at his wedding with his ex-girlfriend. And so I think that there was a point there, but I think that was only because we hadn't started dating and she was interested.
Flip the script. You're out and there's a man and he is hitting on your wife in front of you, but maybe it's in like a service industry or something like that. So you're in this interaction, you're at the same place, but he's playing a little game with your wife, to your wife. Maybe your wife's not necessarily picking up on it or participating. How do you feel about that, Ryan?
The first thing I would do is ask my wife if that was happening.
You're like,
Because
I
I
see
would
this.
know.
I need to verify this.
Because she would probably be able to pick it up quicker, and then she would be able to tell me, yeah, he might be. Or
And then
no.
what?
If he is, then I think I wouldn't do something dramatic. I'd probably take a plate and just like throw it at his
break it on
junk.
the table.
With
I
food
was
on
like,
it?
Get out of here.
Good
No, I
thing
keep
it's not
the food.
dramatic.
I keep the food. I'd get one of those appetizer
Would
plates.
you say something? Would you intervene?
No, I just do action. Action hero stuff.
Okay. Ethan? Just can't take you seriously.
I think that I would, for my own entertainment, let it play out to a certain extent. And then if it got to the point, it was like, okay, this has gone
Now
far
we've crossed
enough.
the line.
Now we've, hi, buddy. Kind of get to that situation. But the funny thing is that, like, my wife doesn't necessarily understand when someone is flirting with her either. So I'll have people tell me, like, or Hannah will tell me, apparently this guy was flirting with me at this wedding or at this, get together or whatever. But like her mom or her friend told her that it was happening, and that's how I get told about it. So I kind of take it as a compliment because I know that she's locked up.
For sure.
But
Brad?
Yeah.
Like Hillary Clinton.
I think my reaction, it would be one of two things, and this just depends on the setup. Am I like next to her while this is going on, or am I observing this from a distance, watching it go on? Like close enough, but maybe that the guy doesn't notice me. Because if I'm right there and he's flirting with my wife right in front of me, them's fighting words.
I do agree with that.
But if I'm watching it happen, then I'm like with Ethan, it's kind of amusing and see where it goes. And then I think the way that I intervene whenever it goes too far is I walk up, give her a kiss on the cheek, say, hey, babe, what's going on? Who's this? And then,
a dog
I imagine it being way more like Ben Stiller, Zoolander, like, hey, babe, what's going on? Who's this guy?
My husband does not take well to people who are like filthy mean to me on social media. He does not care if people are flirting with me.
Really?
He's amused. It's much more. Are we? Yeah, he's
gonna allow it in person, but not online.
I mean, obviously, if somebody were getting handsy or something, that's crossing a line. But if there's somebody who is, he would be amused about it because he would know I would be uncomfortable, and he enjoys that.
Hey,
I don't know why.
I just got to say it real quick before we go to break. Saw a picture the other day of him on Facebook back in the day. Boy, that man had some luscious locks. He had some great hair.
He did. He's got like yours.
I almost did a double take at it.
I'll have to share a picture in the 2:00 hour. We celebrated, I kind of mentioned this on the air 2 days ago. We have been together. Our dating anniversary, it was May 7th. And so we have been together for 21 years, married since 2004. And he did have the flow before everybody else had the flow. And the trucker hat thing, that game was strong.
Come on.
Everybody keeps telling him to grow it back. I don't know that 40 whatever year old Flo looks the same as 20 whatever year Flo, but I dig it. I think he's cute. We'll be right back.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-500-5000.
That's 314-500-5000.
All on the free Odyssey app.
New Pope and New Hope. I'm John Saucier, Fox News. Cardinals in Vatican City selecting the first Pope born in the United States. We have Fox's Alex Hogan in Rome.
Leo XIV is the first ever American Pope, and the world is leaning in to learn more about the new leader of the Catholic Church. The 69-year-old was born in Chicago in 1955 to the name Robert Prevost. His family says even as a child, he was focused on religion and served as an altar boy. While he is American, he spent 2/3 of his life in South America and Europe. He served as a missionary in Peru for much of his career, where he became a dual citizen. Quickly rising among the ranks, he was appointed as a cardinal in 2023, and then earlier this year, the late Pope Francis elevated him to do the senior ranks of cardinals.
Pope Leo has championed the poor, called on the church to combat climate change and oppose the ordainment of women. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Trade Representative Jameson Greer spending the weekend with a Chinese economic official that talked trade between the two countries. Fox Business Network correspondent Edward Lawrence is at the White House.
They want some action. The president wants to see something come out of this meeting, some sort of tangible item from the Chinese. Now, we know that the president's focused now on China, now that the first trade deal has been done with the United Kingdom. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer are on their way to Switzerland to meet with the Chinese delegation. In the Truth Social post, President Trump dangling the 80% tariffs from the Chinese down from the 145% if they make progress, the White House says, with talks in Switzerland over the weekend.
The FAA said there was another air traffic control outage this morning affecting Newark Liberty International Airport. New Jersey Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer says these delays are hurting the Northeast.
The region is short, and this is a big deal. The region is short about 40 air traffic controllers that it needs.
America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242. 800-881-4242.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
No complaints with our weather for a change. Sunshine, a little cool, yes, but the high around 70, delightful. Tonight, clear skies and chilly. A quick drop through the 60s this evening. 48 for the overnight low. Saturday, sunny, 73. Sunday for Mother's Day, sunshine, wonderful, 78 for the high on Sunday. That's pretty close to where we should be. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If it's time for new windows, there's only one place to call. That is Window World. Mark Cox here. Call my friends at Window World at 314-993-1800 for your free estimate today. If you have any questions, they'll be glad to send someone out to explain all of it to you. You can even schedule right online at windowworldstl.com. You know, there's a lot of high-interest financing out there, but here's what Window World's doing. Right now, they're offering 18 up to 36 months, same as cash financing, with approved credits. You can't beat that. You also get a lifetime warranty that covers all of the parts, the glass breakage, and labor. Who else stands behind their product like that? Over half the appointments Window World will set this year are from previous customers or referrals from those customers. That is a testimony to their customer service, their quality, and their commitment to creating loyal customers. That's what you get with Window World. Call them at 314-993-1800, windowworldstl.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. We call them the Doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any other practice in St. Louis. So if you're looking for the best doctors for your best vision, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Doctors Birdie and Malhotra are cornea surgeons and experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. I had an eye disease when I was younger. It left me with a silicone buckle around my right eye, so I put my trust in Ophthalmology Associates to take care of my annual checkups. Maybe you're experiencing dry eye, allergy eyes. They can help. They can help with cataracts, macular degeneration, glaucoma, and LASIK surgeries. And if you're looking for the best eye care, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Make an appointment today by calling 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com. They have a great office location just west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, the phone number, 314-966-5000. The website, youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
Love Talk Radio? We want to hear from you. Help shape the future of your favorite shows right here in St. Louis. Tell us what you love, what you skip, and what you want more of, because your voice matters. You'll be helping us make better radio for you and the entire St. Louis community. It's easy to sign up, and selected panelists will receive a special gift as a thank you. Visit 971talk.com/feedback to join the conversation today. That's 971talk.com/feedback.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to nordiciusa.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
I'm Emma Greed, and I've spent the last 20 years building, running, and investing in some incredible businesses. The more success I've had, the more people started coming to me with questions. How do you start a business? How do you raise money? How do I bounce back from failure? On my new podcast, Aspire with Emma Greed, I'll be answering these questions and more through weekly conversations with the smartest minds out there. Listen to and follow Aspire with Emma Greed, an Odyssey podcast, available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
This is attorney Todd Nissenholtz of Kaufman Townsley. Victim of a car accident? Not choosing the best lawyer will cost you. But here's the good news. Since you don't pay unless we win, you can afford the very best. Kaufman Townsley. Call 314-500-5000.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
They got someone here knows what they're talking about.
Left up, left right. Gotta love this American ride.
Hey, you need to take some time to get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Yes, it is. It's Friday, 2:07, and we are happy about that. Beautiful day outside. And if it's Friday and you're wrapping up your work day, on a day like this, I bet you're thinking about going home and sitting on that beautiful backyard deck customized by Artistic Decks for you. It is an absolute dream of so many people to have that dream space. It expands the living area of your home. And we are excited to have Artistic Decks, partners of ours here on the Annie Fry Show. Artistic Decks, the owners, in here to play X's and O's. So Victoria and Derek, thank you for being in here today. There we go. Let's get your mics on.
We got to turn on, right?
All good. It's great to be partnering with you. And right now we've got the weather is pristine.
Starting to kick in, isn't it?
For sitting outside and enjoying that deck. And my understanding is if people are able to call and get in line, that you still are doing decks this summer.
We're getting there. Definitely call soon. We're starting to fill up a little bit, but at the same time, always looking for new clients, and we'll definitely get you in by late summer. Worst case scenario right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, call now. We're running a couple light specials, some giveaways on lights. Definitely best pricing in town.
It is. And they're beautiful. And like I said, they're customized as well. 314-280-0821 is the number to call. 314-280-0821. You guys have decades of experience here in the area.
Decades.
It's a good play on words, right?
Yeah, it's just, I didn't even know that I did that when I said the word decades.
Caught it though.
Decades of experience of making people's experience in their backyard actually livable. A deck can transform a home so much.
You're a whole nother living space. Picture your living room. Most living rooms are between, 150 to 200 square foot on a nicer size home. On a deck, you put that out back, it's a whole nother living space in the same dimension.
Yeah.
And makes it very cool. It brings your whole backyard to life. If you need a new deck, now's the time to do it. Prices aren't going to get any cheaper.
Yeah.
So this is now, and summer is upon us.
All right. Well, if you want to give them a call, 314-280-0821. You can also look them up online and see some of the beautiful decks that they've already constructed at artisticdecks.net. X's and O's. We haven't done one of these in a while. We're excited to have you guys into play.
I'm scared.
That's okay. You should be scared of Ryan. He's very scary.
Yeah.
He's very frightening. Huge
And he's the one
Michigan
who
Spartans
created
fan.
Judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah, you didn't know how bad this was going to be.
Yeah.
Ryan, why don't you take it from here and set up the game so the listeners at home as well as our guests understand how it works?
Okay, it's been a few weeks since we've played X's and O's. So the way that this happens is we have a drummer that comes in here real soon. It makes things feel very, very intense.
All right.
Well, there he is. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, there we go. There he is. All right. So you have a tic-tac-toe board up in the studio here, numbered 1 through 9. So each square has a number corresponding with a question that I will give you. And Derek, right?
Sure. Yeah.
You want to go first?
Sure. Let's
Okay.
do it.
So you will be, I think we have
O's.
O's for you.
Right.
And Victoria will be X's. Derek, you will pick any square to start, and then you'll have to pick Annie or Brad to answer the question for you.
Okay.
You simply agree with Annie or Brad for the square.
All right. Let's do 5.
All right, going right down the center.
Right.
Good choice.
And who is going to answer this question for you?
Let's do Brad.
I'm ready.
Brad. All right, here we go. The new Pope will go by the name Leo the 14th. This is a hard week, by the way.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, you're welcome. That will go by the name Leo the 14th and was selected on the conclave's second day. What percentage of the Cardinals did he need to secure for the papacy? Was it half plus 1, 51%, two-thirds majority, or a unanimous vote?
Man,
What is needed?
my gut tells me to go with a unanimous vote. But then I heard an audio clip today where like one of the Cardinals was saying, I'll never tell you which way I voted.
Fred Bottomer was in and answered this question.
Yeah. So let's go. What was it? The 2/3, I think, is what I'm going to go with. 2/3.
2/3, Derek.
And that's exactly correct.
That is
Woo!
correct. That's you got it.
Dang it. I think we're going to be the dumb ones in the room today. And by that, I mean Brad and me.
Derek was
Yeah,
confident.
He's like, let's see how long they stew on this one.
He was ready to go. Come on, Brad.
Good,
let's
I like
get there.
it.
All right, so you go take the center square there. If you want to go ahead and mark that.
Let's do it.
You have O's in center square.
And Victoria, you get to pick your square next.
I am going to do number 1.
All right, top left.
Number 1. Who's answering this for you?
Annie.
All right.
All right, Annie and Victoria, you found one of today's audio whoopies. Here's President Trump talking about a third term.
Staying politically viable.
I will say this. So many people want me to do it. I have never had requests so strong as that.
He went on to say to Kristen Welker that he wouldn't run again, but the question is, on what network was this?
NBC, Meet the Press, Kristen Welker.
I agree.
Yes.
Boy, that was fast.
Glad it wasn't a Pope question.
I thought a couple of these were a little hard. You guys kind of nailed them.
Yeah.
All right, so you have square number 1, Victoria.
Good thing their little icon was in the bottom corner of that clip that I watched.
Was it? I was listening.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That means it goes back to Derek.
Right.
Which square you want?
Oh, yeah, right. The square thing.
Yes.
Let's do 2.
Number 2.
Top middle.
Okay, top middle. And who's answering for you, Derek?
We'll do Annie.
Okay.
Annie, on Tuesday, we talked about how we voted in the 2016 presidential primary. Trump, Rubio, Cruz, Name any state that Donald Trump did not win in the 2016 presidential primary.
Iowa. Cruz. Iowa.
What year did can I
16.
Oh, 16, yeah.
Right? You said 2016, right?
2016.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz.
I didn't catch the 16 part.
Yeah,
so-
when you said that, I'm like, I hope it's 16.
Let me check on that real quick here.
You can't. You're gonna fact check
You're gonna
yourself
fact
right now.
check yourself.
That's correct. Cruz won.
Yeah, they're right. Go ahead, Go ahead and give yourself the O.
What, you want to recount?
No, you're right. Just making sure.
Yeah,
It's just some late arriving ballots.
I don't think
Just
the
making sure they're
machine's working
finished
right.
counting.
What did you think he won Iowa?
It was real close. And that's not on the list of state, because I pulled this from an article,
Yeah.
and they didn't list that one,
Oh.
probably because it was a caucus.
Yeah.
But I was like, wait a minute, that
Yeah.
still counts.
He didn't win the
so
first
I had
one.
to check to be sure.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, you got it. All right. Back to
Victoria?
Victoria.
I'm going to do number 8.
For the block.
That makes sense.
Out of middle.
See what happens.
All right. And who's answering this one for you?
Brad or Andy?
Oh,
Brad or Andy?
Brad or Andy?
All right, let's go.
Brad, you guys have the other audio whoopee.
She always gets on the whoopee.
Yeah.
And we'll just go to break.
ArtisticDex.net. Fun people.
All right. This is the audio whoopee. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said they'd be meeting to discuss tariffs with China this weekend.
The Chinese team is traveling through Europe, and they will be in also. So we will meet on Saturday and Sunday. And look, we have shared interest.
In what country will the U.S. and China be meeting this weekend?
Believe it's Switzerland.
Agree or disagree?
I agree.
Here's the answer.
The Chinese team is traveling through Europe, and they will be in Switzerland also.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we will meet on Saturday and Sunday. And look, we have shared interest.
I'm a little humbled. I said this was a hard week, and you guys
Just
are
for you, Ryan.
nailing it. Yeah, actually, it was
It was
harder
really
on
hard
me
for you.
than it was
For
on
him
you.
to figure out the question.
Yeah.
Gotta go back. Was it
Wait a minute,
Iowa?
let me Google that and make sure.
I got a correct answer that wasn't on my list.
All right. Technically, it's a primary, but okay.
Right.
All right. Back to Derek.
All right, let's go to 7.
Bottom left.
7, bottom left.
Yep, bottom left.
And who's answering for you?
Well, go back to Annie.
Okay.
All right, Annie, you have stumbled into AI. That means this is a real quote from the week run through artificial intelligence. So the quote's real. It won't sound like the person saying it. Tell me which guest this was on the Annie Fry Show this week.
Oh.
ADD is disqualifying from military service. And I've been diagnosed with ADD.
Will Chamberlain.
Will Chamberlain. You're going to have to do some trusting here. Or
I thought I heard this, though.
vet her character. Would she deceive you?
But memory, right? So I'm going to say no.
You're going to say no. It's not Will Chamberlain. All right. Here is the answer.
ADD is disqualifying from
Will
military
Chamberlain.
service.
It is
and
Will
I,
Chamberlain.
Yeah.
I've been diagnosed with
Okay,
ADD.
you win.
Even if I was young enough to go in the military,
So
they would
you get the
exclude me on
square,
that
Victoria.
basis.
So it's
Victoria
going to be
gets the square.
X.
Number 7.
Oh, look at you.
Oh, look at
Now I got to
me.
block you next time.
Oh, man.
Okay. Now,
You can
Victoria.
win. I set you up for a win.
Where do you want to go?
I'm going to go 9.
Number 9.
Bottom right.
And this would be for the first tic-tac-toe of the game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who is your answer?
That would be Brad.
Your expert.
Uh-oh.
All right, Brad.
All right.
We spoke with Taylor Riggs about companies moving operations back within the U.S. borders. And today, Lego announced a massive 2 million square foot warehouse they're opening in Virginia at a cost of $366 million. Probably to avoid tariffs.
Okay.
In 2014, Lego gave us the Lego movie
Oh, and there's the turn.
with characters like Emmett, Wild Style, President Business, and Lego Batman.
Are you making this up as you ask the question?
No.
Has to be.
He's swinging back and forth like a child.
Tell me Tell me who voiced any of those 4 characters in the Lego movie.
Wait, Lego Batman. I think that was Will Forte, but I'm gonna go with President Business was Will Ferrell.
Agree?
I'm going to agree.
Or disagree? Boy, it's a good thing he said Will Ferrell because that is correct. But Will Forte was not in that movie. It was Will Arnett.
Oh.
So we
So you got it.
You get it.
Oh,
You
we
got
got
it. You got the tic-tac-toe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Will Arnett was Lego Batman. Chris Pratt was Emmett.
Chris Pratt was the one I was.
I
gonna
thought
guess.
that would be
That was
the
the
one
only
you'd get.
name that I knew. Was
Yeah.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Well, Derek, you get to go now. So
All right.
which square are you going to pick?
Well, let's just pick. Let's pick 4.
Yep. Got to go with 4.
Seems like the answer.
Okay, and who's answering for you?
We'll go with Brad.
All right,
Brad, you
Since
have.
I heard wrong last time.
I got it right. I got it right.
I know.
You got a chance still here,
Yeah.
Derek.
Oh,
You can
yes.
tie it.
Now
All right.
over till
Yeah, you got it. You have stumbled into AI. Again, another clip that will not sound like the person who said it. Tell me who said this.
That's very important, and we feel very comfortable with that because it's been a great ally, truly one of our great allies. A lot of people say our greatest ally.
a lot of people say that's the
What?
dead giveaway.
Oh my God.
Man, I think that's President Trump.
Do you?
Yes,
I'm gonna
President
have to say
Trump.
for sure.
Here is who actually said that.
And that's very important. And we
Important.
feel very, very comfortable with that because it's been a great ally, truly one of our great allies. I mean, a lot of people say our greatest ally.
A lot of people say that's the giveaway.
100%.
All right.
All right.
So we have an O in square 4, which means that really the game
up.
kind of comes down to this square, doesn't it?
It does. One left.
We got 2 left, but this
Right.
is really the key one, isn't it?
Well,
Victoria, you want 3 or you want 6?
I want 6.
You want 6.
Number 6.
Yeah.
For the block.
you
But
pretty
if you
much-
get it wrong, it's a tic-tac-toe.
It's a tic-tac.
And then
playing
it'll come
offense.
down to
Good.
total squares. So
Yeah.
Right. So if you went up there,
He's lobbying.
why don't you take 3
He's always
instead?
talking me into stuff.
6.
All right, number 6, and who's answering?
We're going to go with Annie.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Annie.
Okay, Annie. Pope Leo XIV is the head of the Catholic Church as of yesterday, May
True.
8th, 2025. And we'll just stop. You answer, so we
All
have to
right.
stop there.
Yeah, okay.
In our lifetimes, we have seen Pope Francis, Pope Benedict, and Pope John Paul II. Give me the year any one of them were elected.
2025 count?
Nope.
Oh.
Oh man.
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea. 2024. I like my clients.
Ada.
What?
Were any of those popes, Pope Francis, Benedict, or Pope John Paul II, elected Pope in 2024?
No.
Yeah, correct.
No, that's correct. And that
Ding,
gives
ding,
you-
ding. I think it's 91 was
Yeah, you guys seem to know your Pope stuff.
I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
He's not.
Pope Francis was 2013.
Yeah.
Pope Benedict was 2005.
Oh, okay.
And Pope John Paul II was
93, 92, 91?
1978.
Oh.
78, yeah.
I'm getting confused with when the Pope came to St. Louis.
St. Louis.
That,
That
I
was
feel
the
like
late-
I was
that
in
was-
4th grade. It was like
That was
93,
mid-
94.
I thought it was later than that. I would have said 97 or 8.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right, 1 square left. Now we have to just complete the board.
Well, if he gets it wrong, it's a tie game.
There's no tic-tac-toe.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was looking at it wrong. All right.
Yeah, it's just about the
If he gets it right, though, he's another tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
All right, so number 3 for Derek.
Can he pick either of us, or is it?
Yeah, we're both available.
Okay.
Flirt for it.
No.
Hold it.
Who do you want to answer, Derek?
Brad or
Okay.
Annie?
So she's
Either way.
Either one.
Yeah, right. Let's go, Annie.
Okay.
All right, Annie. This week, President Donald Trump met with the new Prime Minister of Canada to talk tariffs and friendship. What is the first and last name of Canada's new Prime Minister?
Mark.
I specifically asked this for you.
I remember his first name now. I don't remember his last name.
Derek, you know it.
Do you know it? Mark.
I know Mark. It's what I know.
know it. Mark Carney.
Is it Carney?
I'm 100% sure it's Carney. And I'm 82% sure it's
I think
Mark.
it's Mark. I think.
Mark Carney.
You're going to say yes. We're going to say yes to Mark Carney.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it.
Whole thing.
See, you had the last name, and I had the.
Yeah, there you go.
You got
All
it.
right, put one more X on the board. Good job, guys.
Oh.
Now you got to come back and throw it down again, and we'll have you back, and you can play one another time.
All right, now,
Sound good?
now we're good at it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
You guys
right.
nailed it. Well, Artistic Decks is there to take your phone call to build the deck of your dreams.
It's
It
true.
is affordable. It can happen this year. You can be sipping lemonade, or let's be honest, margaritas on your deck at your home, inviting your friends over, or telling everyone to go away and enjoying the quiet space and the warm breeze and the nice sunshine yourself. 314-280-0821. 314-280-0821. Artisticdecks.net. Derek, anything else you want to add to it before we let you go?
Sure. Call now. Free consultations, free deck designs. All that is included in the price. There's no additional pricing when you get the bid. The number, it is what the number is. Call today. Got a bunch of different specials going on and some of the new decking that's coming out currently. So that's now's the time.
Reliable, customized, and you're working with good people, and that's what matters the most. Artisticdecks.net. Victoria, Derek, thank you.
A pleasure.
Congratulations on your win, Derek.
Thank you.
You got
Thank
to
you.
come
I
back
won.
and get 'em
I
again.
win either way, right?
You do. That's exactly right. All right, let's take a quick break. More Annie Fry Show after this. Don't go away.
Like an old brass penny with two heads up. It's alright if you're late. I just hope that you find your way soon.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on X at Annie Fry Show.
Come around till the sweet, sweet morning. Come along, I'll be waiting for you.
Renewal by Henderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Henderson has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1924. rbastl.com or 314-332-1924.
Do you ever wonder if you've saved enough money to retire? Well, you can find out how you can make your money go a lot further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class. It's taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects. They have decades of financial planning experience, and they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. You will learn about reducing your taxes, maximizing your Social Security income, paying for health care, all of it. And there's no cost. Just bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. Now, there are a handful of openings for the classes this month and next. Just register by calling 314-947-2012. 314-947-2012. It's the Sue Thomas number, 314-947-2012.
Here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That means a $100,000 savings account today could feel like $50,000 by 2031. And you see it every time you fill up your tank, buy groceries, or pay the bills. Prices are up. Your dollar is down. But there's a simple way to protect the value of your savings with something real, something proven. Gold, an asset that holds its value over time. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to protect your savings with physical gold or silver. No high-pressure sales, no call centers, just honest guidance, one-on-one support, and transparent pricing. And right now, when you open a qualified account, Noble Gold will send you a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar as a thank you. Head to noblegoldinvestments.com today to learn more. That's noblegoldinvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Bill Walmsley interviews Chad and Lisa.
This property, for you to have done what you've done, won the award, changed it around, done all the rehab, has got to be worth a lot more.
We purchased it for $8.275, and it's worth $19 million now. So
Wait, whoa. That is incredible. I can see why you won an award, and that's great.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007 for a $297 membership. Save $443 off the regular price. Text radio to 88007.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Ryan, how many siblings do you have?
One.
Brad?
2.
I have 2. I am the middle. I have an older sister and a younger brother. Do you believe much of what is said about birth order? Kind of like, are you a typical, Ryan, you're the oldest of 2? Are you the typical oldest child?
Kind of. I think birth order does matter. I don't know if it's a predetermined cause of everything, but.
What about you, Brad?
I am the oldest, and yes, I fit that stereotype quite well.
Well, I'm the middle, and everybody wants to. Anyway, so if you're the firstborn child, this is according to a Yahoo article. It says, according to Adler's theory, the firstborn child initially gets more attention and one-on-one time from their parents, and as parents are just getting the hang of parenting themselves, they might also be more strict with their older child. So you have twins as your oldest, correct, Ryan?
Yeah.
And how much age difference is there between your son and daughter twins
Almost exactly 3 years.
and then your son?
Yeah.
There's a 3-year difference.
10, 10, and 7.
Do you feel like you'd seen some things after raising twins and then having one son 3 years later?
It was easy. It was so easy.
Is it because of the multiples?
Yeah. Well, I think so. I mean, it's the only experience I've ever had. But yeah, it was after having 2, having one more was like, oh gosh, we could do this with our eyes closed.
Did you?
I think so. Yeah. Our youngest has suffered for it. We are definitely less strict with him though.
That's kind of the natural question. And I think about that with mine. So I have 4 kids and their ages are 15, 12, 9, and 3. And they have they all are in their own phase of life. They're not sharing phases. I would bet, I mean, obviously your twins share every phase of life. Being a boy and girl probably helps with a little differentiation, of course, but is your son that's 3 years younger, is he in a different phase of life so far all the time? Or is he doing older things sooner because he has siblings who are doing those things?
Yes, he's doing older things sooner and he's just not ready for it. But we do kind of, that's the weird thing is we apply the same rules to all the kids.
Yeah, that you wouldn't have applied to them when they were 3 years younger.
Like, oh, their bedtime's all 9 o'clock now. Well, a couple years ago, it was 8:30 or 8 or whatever. And now he's at the same age, he's getting the benefit of having the later time. And there's a lot of stuff like that.
Would the 8 o'clock bedtime with your twins, was that as much for you guys as it was for them though?
No. As they've gotten older, okay, I need sleep. I just need it to function. My wife does not. So oddly, 2 of our 3 kids are like her, but they just don't seem to need as much sleep.
Which ones?
My daughter, who is a twin, and my youngest don't seem to need as much sleep.
Is your oldest son just like you?
In that sense, he is. And in a lot of ways, he is. He is not as... my youngest son and my daughter are much more entertainment focused, and he's more achievement driven. I'm both, so he gets that from me. But he needs sleep bad. So there are times that he sleeps in the same room as his brother that we're like, St. John, you go to sleep. River, you can hang out for a little bit. And St. John's kind of like,
okay,
yeah, I kind of get that.
Firstborn children may be high achievers, conscientious, controlling, bossy, reliable, responsible, and organized. You guys both said you're firstborn.
Mm-hmm.
Disagree with any of those?
No.
I don't think I'm as bossy.
You get bossy. You can be bossy.
Okay.
I'm a firstborn. Am I bossy?
No.
Not even think so.
High achiever?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
High achiever. I am fairly organized. Did that say achievement driven? Did I say
high
that?
achievers.
High achiever. Okay.
Yeah. I think controlling and bossy, I think both of those things, those are written in ways that sound on the surface automatically negative. And then it's kind of like, what's the intention when that skill is delivered and what's the reception of that skill? And I think that's where like age and experience kind of takes this, this understanding that if I'm not an oldest. I'm not a firstborn. So, but in putting myself in this position, it's like, I know how this needs to be done. I know the things that need to take place, and I know the steps to get there. So I'm going to take control of the situation. And if I'm surrounded by people who don't know what I know, then I'm going to facilitate said process so that the job gets done. Now, you can do that in a bossy, witchy way, or you can do it in a leader-like way. But I think that when it says controlling and bossy, I'm not looking at that in a whole sense as a negative thing. But it's like a take charge and drive.
Yeah, I mean, that's also who you are. You just take everything, you kind of put a positive spin on it.
Me?
That's what you just did. Yeah. It's not bossy in a negative way. I just got to put a positive spin on this.
If you're the middle child, middle-born children may be peacemakers, sociable and outgoing, people pleasers, and competitive. I feel like I dip into the negative things of what firstborns are doing. Like I often find that middle children are categorized in kind of bipolar types of ways. You know, like the memes that go around, oh, it's middle child day. Nobody noticed. Have you seen those before?
No. The algorithm knows you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. It says, according to Adler's theory, middle children are often the peacemaker between their older and younger siblings. They can also be people pleasers. Sometimes middle children can be rebellious as they want to stand out from the younger and older child. I was definitely the latter part of that. I was never the person in my family who was like, let's all come together and see the best in each other.
That's a middle child characteristic?
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's not you. And I mean that very nicely.
Please don't hurt me.
I just want everybody to get along.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not a middle child. My brother's 8 years younger than me, though. So there's a pretty big age gap.
That's almost like an only.
Yeah.
So if I'm not the peacemaker, what am I?
I would say
resolution.
Yep, that one. I'd say resolution. That's the same thing, isn't it?
Not necessarily, because sometimes
Just
resolutions.
it's basically he's saying I'm the peacemaker, but without the peacefulness.
No, it's like, that would be an arbitrator.
Yeah, well, like when I look at this,
arbiter?
the important thing is to get to a resolution and to find an end to the conflict. And sometimes that means you're like, all right, guys, because Peacemaker has this, all right, everybody come around, we give a hug and that sort of thing. And sometimes it's everybody get over here and do what you need to do so that we can get this thing solved. And, you know, like Peacemaker carries with it that kind of softy, wishy-washy kind of attitude. And I wouldn't say Annie is a softy or a wishy-washy person. I think she's very resolute in her beliefs and thoughts and ideas. But she is definitely one who wants to come to a resolution on conflicts
Sooner than later. Let's just move on.
Do you want to move on past conflicts because you're uncomfortable in them, or because you're just like, no, this needs to be solved, I need to do it?
One, they are a waste of time if they're resolvable.
Okay.
Like if there is a conflict that exists between me and another person and it's based on misunderstanding, then if you clear the air and you can resolve the problem, why wouldn't you do that? And most people don't do that because it involves confrontation in order to get on the other side where there's resolution. That confrontation does not bother me if I feel honestly that the other side of the confrontation is a resolution for myself and hopefully the other person involved. Like, what is the resolution? Is it resolving a relationship with somebody? If I am in a conflict with another person or like a family or something like that, I am going to ask myself, what is the conflict that exists here? And if it is a misunderstanding and I want a relationship with that person, or I need to have a working relationship with that person, I absolutely want to clear the air. If they have perceived something about me, I would want to know what that is for an opportunity to offer them my perspective of that, or potentially to simply apologize because what I did, maybe I was unaware that I did something that was upsetting to somebody, or maybe I was thoughtless. Like maybe it was like a sin of omission where I didn't realize that something happened and I was kind of involved, and boy, I apologize for the way that happened. I did not know. And if I could do it again, I would do it differently, which is different than saying, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings, which is not good. However, if there's a conflict with somebody and you know that person is never going to change, bye. I'm not sticking around for that.
It's a weird thing about getting older is that I used to, I would hate conflict so bad that I'd almost do anything to end it. If there was some sort of unresolved issue with somebody, I still believe that. And I will act on it if there's any way to, but I also will just sit in it if I have to. Part of that's probably just that you know from experience that especially if it's somebody close to you, it'll work out and you don't necessarily have to run to solve it right away.
You just quickly have to understand who matters.
Yeah.
And who doesn't, what matters and what doesn't. And once you can be focused on where the boundary lines are as to what matters in life, then you can start talking about like what conflict is worth enduring to get to what end. Because if the conflict only perpetuates more conflict, not worth my time at all.
No, but there are people who are such people pleasers. And I may have been in this category at one time, but I never ran from it. And that I think is really important, that if you are a people pleaser, just own it. Just know that that's the way you are, but
people take advantage of that though.
Don't run from conflict though, just because it's uncomfortable, because you've got to build that perseverance, because otherwise people will take advantage of it.
Yeah. If you're the youngest child, they may be outgoing, fun-loving, an attention seeker, self-centered, or a risk taker. They say even when siblings are adults, the youngest is always going to be the baby of the family. This means their brothers and sisters may think they're a bit spoiled. And if they're much younger, they might be pampered by older siblings too. Youngest children may be more likely to take risks to show that they aren't a baby, and they may get away with more as now their parents have plenty of experience of parenting. Their rules may be less strict, which is what you're talking about, even with your youngest being 3 years younger. My son is 15. Molly is 3.
That's tough.
There are times we're like, where's Molly? Where'd she go? And she'll be like, I'm right here, Mom. We're like, sounds good.
Do you think that makes younger what are the lower end of the age spectrum kids in a family? Do you think that makes them bigger risk takers?
I think it makes them like I've told Charlie this, who's my oldest. I'm like, we used to just sit and look at you. Like,
right.
All we would do,
he was completely covered.
We'd get home from work, and wherever you were, that was 100% of our attention. And that's just what you do when you have your firstborn. You just dote. You dress them up in cute little outfits. Boy, I was just saying about my 9-year-old. She loves clothes. She likes fashion. She likes accessories. She likes all of these like super girly things. And she puts together outfits that if my oldest daughter would have put that on to go out of the house, I wouldn't have let her do it. I'd be like, what are you wearing? Why are you doing that? With Evelyn, I'm like, knock yourself out. And Molly too, like they're expressing themselves. And I'm always asking myself, is this a battle that I really need to be fighting? Wearing that mismatched outfit makes them happy. And if I put them in something that Mom picked out, like what is better because I've done that? Literally nothing. I will pick battles and I will win the battles that I pick. But with the younger ones, it's just kind of like, is this a life or death issue? Is this a moral compass issue? And if it's not, I always try to go home with the same 4 kids I started with every day. And I tell my kids, I'm always looking for upgrades. So just be good.
Mm-hmm.
I still have the same ones I started with. But I think about that all the time. From 15 to 3, the financial situation we're in, the house we're in right now. I mean, we're not like rolling in dough by any stretch of the imagination. But when Charlie was born, Jared, when we found out we were pregnant, he had just gone back to school and wasn't working. Or I know he was working, I guess that was when he was working at Walgreens as a manager, and he ended up not working anymore so that he could fast track going to school and take as many hours as he possibly could so he could go get his teaching job. And, we were scrimping and saving and it was a very different existence than we have right now. But now I have 4 kids and tuition to pay for kids. We have a higher income, but still the expectations, the obligations incrementally increase with one another. But it's just like, I think about myself as a middle child. I think about my sister, who is 3 years older than me, my brother, who's 2.5 years younger than me, and just the lot in life that my parents were in by the time he was going through high school. They were, getting close to retiring, probably at peak earning over the course of their career. This is not the way that we grew up. It's just you can't make things equal. You do have to communicate to the kids, though, like the difference between what mommy and daddy have and are and what you have and are.
Yeah, they usually don't know the difference. We had the same thing where when the twins were born, we were super poor. Now we're super rich. And we live in this giant house. We don't even see the kids half the time. And the temptation is to just let the butler raise them. And you can't do that. We have a moral obligation to raise
What's your
our
butler's
kids.
name?
Terry.
Terry the butler.
That's weird because that's Brad's wife's name.
This is a guy.
Hey, Terry.
Anderson. Terry Anderson.
I was waiting for you to say Jeeves.
No.
All right, let's come back with the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Mark Reardon is in with the roundtable. That's going to start here in about 20 minutes. So you're going to want to keep it on 97.1 FM Talk. We're excited to be here. Started the show off today with Joe DeVito from Gutfeld, of course, in studio with us. Had a great time with him. Make sure you check out the Annie Fry Show podcast. Go to anniefryshow.com/podcast for more information on all of the things that we cover each and every day. The results of today's YouTube live chat poll next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online at igotfloored.com. Everything you need to know about Michael's Flooring Outlet, a family-owned and operated business. 3 decades in plus of helping people like you buy flooring. Maybe it's for your living room, you're renovating, you want to put down some fresh, clean lined hardwood flooring, but you want to know, like, what are my options to get that look? Maybe you're looking for the Techwood Plus line. Maybe you are looking for something super durable, super old fashioned looking, whatever it is. You go to Michael's Flooring Outlet and they have all of these options available for you to touch, feel, walk on, and experience. It is lovely to be able to shop this flooring from Michael's and know that you're shopping local. I think that matters to a lot of you. And certainly their time in business here in St. Louis has made them the trusted name in flooring. If you go online to igotfloored.com, you can request an estimate directly from the website. You can read reviews from happy customers, people who have worked with them even recently, and kind of get a flavor of what it's like to work with Michael's, or visit them at any of their 3 St. Louis locations. Start the process online at igotfloored.com.
Well, it seems it was just, I think just about a year ago, last May, when I was attacked by those cicadas. It was a planned attack. I just completely believe it. And I think a couple of them I guess a couple of them did get up into my brain, but I can still hear them making that noise. It's worse than a gnat. No, again, air conditioning. Mother's Day is coming up. So how about if you're in need of an air conditioner and you want to keep your better half nice and cool and everybody's tempers down in the heat and live in a comfortable environment without cicadas in your head like mine, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
This Memorial Day weekend, bring your crew to Busch Stadium to see the Cardinals take on the D-backs. May 23rd to the 25th, catch great promotions all weekend long, including a Mason Win bobblehead and a Kid City Connect jersey giveaway. Kick off your summer with ballpark hot dogs, ice-cold beers, and entertainment for the whole family. Tickets are available at Cardinals.com. This is how summer is meant to be. See you at the ballpark.
This is Alec Burleson, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Hey parents, looking for something fun and unforgettable to do with the kids? Bring the whole family to a Cardinals game at Busch Stadium. From kid-friendly activities and giveaways to awesome promotions like Kids Run the Bases. Your little ones will have a blast, and so will you. Check out Family Sundays, presented by Smithfield, where select tickets include a free jumbo hot dog and soda. There's nothing like sharing the magic of Cardinals baseball together. Make your memories this summer at Busch Stadium. Tickets are available at Cardinals.com.
If you or someone you know suffered any injuries involving a deployed airbag, you could be entitled to compensation. Morgan & Morgan has already recovered millions. Get America's largest injury law firm fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Triton Exteriors. Not sure if you've noticed, but the storms seem to be especially bad this spring. If you had James Hardy Smart Siding, you wouldn't have to worry about it. It's not going to be damaged like in the 314-day storm. So we do roofing, siding, gutters, fences. We're always going to be the middle bid. We're never going to cut corners. We're never going to take advantage of you. Call 314-717-1159 or triton-stl.com.
The YouTube live chat poll today has been a fun one. Who would be the best flirt on this show? Brad, Ethan, Ryan, or Annie? We're not saying we flirt now. We're all married, but who would have been?
I flirt with my husband.
Well, great. Are you good at it?
You have to ask him.
I'm not going to do that.
Hey, Jared.
Hey, Jared.
Is Annie a good flirt?
What's it like when Annie flirts with you? Wait, what?
Ask him.
What the hell are you talking about, sir? YouTube live chat poll. Let us know what you think. $2.50. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon getting set for my first roundtable in 2 weeks because of some international travel. Jane Duker on the panel, former state senators John Lamping and Jeff Smith. We get rolling right after Fox News at 3.
Can you feel it? Now it's coming back. We can steal it.
This is The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
When I lost it, yeah, you held my hand, but I tossed it. Didn't understand you were waiting as I dove into the waterfall. So say
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We've got a YouTube live chat poll wanting to know who you think among the four of us would have been the best flirt back in the day. Ryan, you said you haven't picked yet.
Well, it was between you and one other person. I told you why I would have picked you.
Is it between you and me? Are
No.
you picking you
No, the other person, and I think I'm going to go ahead and lock this pick in, is Ethan.
as your answer?
Yeah. I think it would be Ethan because Ethan is tall and
Dark and handsome.
No.
Tall and handsome.
He's not the brooding type.
He
He's a
is
ginger.
tall though, and
He's
Are you not?
No.
red. He's
What
red.
are you?
Strawberry blonde.
Oh, that's what a ginger
I
would
don't
say.
identify as a ginger.
Guess what? You can identify as whatever you want, but bro, you're a ginger.
I am male. I am tall. I am white.
yeah, fat chromosomes.
I
are
am
chromosomes.
not a ginger.
It's an XY ginger over there.
Yeah. It's just an XY ginger. That's the way it is. You
Call me
can't
fat.
change that about you.
Are you suggesting that men can't
Oh,
be
you
gingers?
fat.
I thought that's what Brad said.
Yeah, he
called
did.
me fat.
He did.
Call me fat.
I said XY
call me a fat
ginger.
toe?
No.
I still am not
What the
really
heck is your
picking up how
problem?
Brad doesn't have any game. It just doesn't really make sense to me.
Ryan called him fat.
I don't know.
I don't
but
think that happened. I said he
I
was
heard it.
tall. And I just wouldn't commit to handsome.
That was
That's as
right
far
before
as
you
I
started
went.
talking
Basically
about
the
jeans.
same thing.
Can a man call another man handsome? Can you identify a handsome man?
Absolutely.
Who's a handsome man?
Who's
Not in this room.
Hugh Jackman.
Yes, he is handsome.
Pierre Turgeon.
Is that hockey
Oh, I
player?
can't think of his name now.
Yeah, so great.
The guy who played Superman.
Henry
Cavill.
Christian Bale.
Fernando Vina.
What are you doing?
He's like Tom Pagnozzi.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
Tom Cruise. Tom
Good-looking
Cruise
guy.
is better looking today than I think he's ever been.
I would agree with that.
The Docs or jeans thing for Tom Cruise, he looks his age and he looks good at his age, where it's just not. Hollywood is struggling in this department. How do you not look 20? There's you look 20 and then you look whatever happens next.
Man, there's some memes out there that are weird because they'll put a picture side by side of somebody at an age now, like Tom Cruise at 60,
Mhm.
next to Wilford Brimley at the same age.
And it's
Like,
unbelievable.
look, these two, this is the same age.
The parents and father of the bride are supposed to be like in their 40s. They look like they were like 80 in there, but it doesn't make sense that they'd be having a young daughter who's getting, of marrying age, probably mid 20s. But they're supposed to be like late 40s.
Yeah. But
Diane Keaton and Steve Martin.
What movie was that?
Father of the Bride.
Father of the Bride. These are weird conversations to have, because when you say Tom Cruise is an attractive man, I think Tom Cruise is kind of puffy.
He's what?
He's very attractive. I think he looks better now than he ever has before.
Puffy.
Let's see. John on YouTube says, I see Annie as an alpha. As such, I don't believe she would flirt as much as she would just get down to business.
What the hell?
man?
What does that mean? What does that mean? Listen up. I like you. You like me. There's clearly electricity in the air.
That's Brad's game.
Let's get on the dance floor and let's get to square dancing.
John, you were incorrect on that one.
I think she just skips the dancing.
I meant my husband dancing. WT Stim said, I picked Annie, although Ryan seems pretty confident, which is essential for men being a good flirt. Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
Can men accidentally flirt? Is it intentional every time?
Gosh.
I think I accidentally
Yeah,
flirt.
I think we could accidentally flirt.
Agreed.
What does it look like when Ryan accidentally flirts?
I think I accidentally flirt a lot because I'm just friendly
every single day.
Yeah.
And women might interpret that as
and-
flirting.
Yeah, I've been told that.
Especially if they
About
want
me?
to interpret it.
Yeah, you.
as
George on YouTube says, out of the cast, who is the most likely to get into a confrontation? So the antithesis of flirting. Who in here is most likely to get into a confrontation?
that. Not Ryan.
It's clearly Annie.
Ryan's last.
I think I've seen you get into
It would either be
Have
you
you?
or
in
Brad.
public.
Where?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Buffalo
Oh.
Wild?
Did you gonna?
Was that
you
that after the tires event and it took forever?
Yeah.
Was I rude?
You were right.
That's a yes.
I saw you at the Save Our Smiles rally. Somebody was yelling out of a car as we were walking away.
Did I yell back at him?
Yes, you did.
Was I nice? Was I right?
You were right. Yes. Yeah, I was a crazy lib yelling about masks.
Joe says to
Yeah.
send you and me, Ryan, to Starbucks to flirt with
You
people.
guys are gonna get arrested.
That's not the place I really want to go to.
Hit us
flirt
up with the
people.
results here.
All right, here we go.
Those
The
are
results of
scooters.
today's YouTube live chat poll: 195 votes for who would have been the best flirt. I am so disappointed with these results. Annie pulls away with the win, 44%. Ryan gets 32% of the vote, and tied for last.
Oh, that's
at
hilarious.
12%.
I'm gonna
is
leave this poll up
myself and
for
Brad.
another 2 minutes, and you guys can sort out
People should be
the
ashamed.
tie. Mark Reardon's Roundtable next.
This Memorial Day weekend, bring your crew to Busch Stadium to see the Cardinals take on the D-backs. May 23rd to the 25th, catch great promotions all weekend long, including a Mason Win bobblehead and a Kid City Connect jersey giveaway. Kick off your summer with ballpark hot dogs, ice-cold beers, and entertainment for the whole family. Tickets are available at Cardinals.com. This is how summer is meant to be. See you at the ballpark.
This is Alec Burleson, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Catch a Cardinals game on your next date night or friends night out. Whether it's love in the stands or laughter with your crew, nothing beats ballpark vibes under the lights. Cold drinks, great eats, and Cardinals baseball. Check out Friday Night Live at Busch Stadium and enjoy happy hour price food and drinks all game long. Every Friday home game. Get your tickets today at Cardinals.com and make memories that go beyond the scoreboard. Busch Stadium, where great nights begin.
We, without hesitation, recommend that anybody work with ThrottleNet. The experience will be as good as it's been for us, for anybody, because you'll get a true partnership and you'll be able to rest easy that you're going to get the service that you need while they're also doing all those things that you don't want to have to think about, that you don't want to have to worry about. They're always doing that in the background for you.
Don't wait for your next IT crisis. If your business depends on technology, you need a partner that's got your back. Contact ThrottleNet.com to get a free IT evaluation and see how we can support your IT everything.
May is a great time to exercise your Second Amendment rights at the Range St. Louis West. If you're a member this month, they're going to double the discount on firearms from 5 to 10%. Membership has its privileges, and accessories are always 10% off, ammo 10% off, classes 15% off. You get free lanes and free rentals with over 120 firearms on the Range. Check them out at 14803 Manchester Road or shop online at therangestl.com.
Who has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis? Is J.D. Powers Award winner 5 years in a row and has the nation's best warranty coverage. Renewal by Andersen, that's who. Take advantage of our great May sale. $279 off every window and $729 off every entry door or patio door with 0 payments and 0 interest.